You want to do the intro?
You always do the intro.
Is that the one we're doing?
So, we're back again. And the show is called
Knights of the Black Table?
Knights of the Black Table?
Knights
Or
at
Knights,
the Black
Knights of the Black Table.
Knights at the Black Table?
Knights at the Black Table or Knights of the Black Table?
Knights at the Black Table.
Knights of the Black Table.
Knights at the Black Table.
Knights of?
Knights of the Black Table.
See? Tell the people what other people say.
You can't do that. No, you don't do that.
That's what we do.
Yeah, well, y'all were arguing.
But you don't do that.
You are arguing.
But exactly.
But that's what I decided to jump in and.
But that's our thing.
I know,
But
and
like,
I just finished it. That's what made it great.
So on this show,
For today, it's whatever.
Knights of the Black Table.
What he said.
So,
I'm rolling blunt. Don't bug me.
so we're going to talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Basically.
Yeah, it's been a while, so like we're kind of probably just gonna go off the rails here.
Nice jacket.
There's a good chance of it anyway. Hey,
What's going on, man?
you can sit in the frame if you want. It's up to you. But like,
So the people who are watching and wondering who we're talking to, we just had another visitor show up, but just explaining basically that we're not ignoring y'all. We're just addressing that, and we're coming back, like now. So what's up?
y'all are just supposed to pay attention. Whatever, man. Be entertained.
We have an audience, people. Not just you, awesome people, but we do have an awesome audience.
We have an audience.
So,
I think.
So, yeah. So, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
yep.
Can you turn it down? Can you turn
Yeah,
it
we got
down?
these soft love jams. We're trying to be all freaking.
The remote. Just turn it down. Oh, Super Nintendo? Are you guys serious right now?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Go ahead. Run it. Don't even worry about it.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
So, what we were talking about before about what we want to talk about, reality TV and how bullshit it is.
Yeah.
I'm just at a point where people watch so much of it to dilute themselves from their own reality.
Agreed.
And in a way, like the singing shows.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. I can't stand somebody coming up there singing or somebody thinks they got great talent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you know what I mean? It blows my mind on some of the levels that people go to just for 15 minutes of fame.
15 minutes of fame. Some of these guys don't even have 5 minutes of fame. It makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the fact that like all of it is scripted.
Mhm.
I'm like in class for this. It is like 90% scripted. If you're gonna see anything that's reality, I don't know, probably watch your Instagram or something. World Stars as close as it gets.
But hey, I go to World Star to find my news, to find out what's going on in the world right now. Everybody can laugh at me or whatever, but yo, if you want to know what kind of bullshit's going on in the world, go to World Star.
That's true. That's true. They do hit you good on a street level right there.
You know what I mean? I want to know what the street knows. If you watch the news and if you look at news globally, all of them have the same shit.
All the time.
And it wasn't like that 20 years ago. You go to Channel 9.
It's
you go to,
entertainment centered.
well, it's one conglomerate that owns the whole narrative.
They don't own the whole narrative.
Of
There's
course
quite
they
a-
own it.
no,
If
they
you can go to England and hear about fucking something that happened in Hamilton, Ontario.
That's just because of global communications, bro. Media communications have gotten so fucking good over time that like you don't.
What if you get
If you,
people
look,
at
if you
this
think
point in
about
time?
if you think about the 80s or something like that, that type of mass communication is not going on. If some crazy ass like mob shit goes on in Hamilton, England isn't going to find out about it until the next day. Right now,
They're not even going to care.
That's what I'm saying.
But
But
if
right
you-
now, you can send that same information to somebody over a fucking hard drive in a matter of minutes, an hour.
But I'm
within
sitting
half
there.
an hour.
What I'm trying to say is, what does somebody in England need to know what's happening in Hamilton?
Well, in that scenario, like I've seen some things where it's like, if depending how big it blows up, like, you guys remember seeing that video of the one guy who's driving in Toronto, or I think it was, I don't even think it was in Toronto, to be honest with you. Maybe it was Toronto. He was driving and a tire broke off and bounced and hit his car, right? Do you see like CNN, or not CNN, the Toronto, was it City Pulse? I think it was City Pulse.
Okay.
They immediately was like, somebody sent this in via our Twitter, right? And then there was about 4 other news stations that covered that, mainly because of like, okay, road rage, or how bad it is on the roads these days, or how crazy it is, and they just blew it up because it's not just, it's like kind of like what he's saying, instead of like the whole flash drive, a little bit, it's kind of like the whole flash drive thing, but it's more like just people are following the right hashtags and trends and such, right? And
the moment that you even click on something, man, the algorithm picks up on what you're into.
Yeah.
And that's why you see what you see. That's why all the sponsored ads that you see are tailored to think, me and you like Dragon Ball.
Oh.
We click on one Dragon Ball oriented thing, we're going to see a sweater that fucking we want to buy that's like 50% off from some random fucking company. We're going to see a bunch of figures and a bunch of other shit. Like
prime example. I'm into anime cosplay chicks.
I see them constantly.
So my top 6 feed is just basically cosplay, girls in cosplay, and an entire anime thing, right? Still more girls in cosplay, anime, right? Like it's exact, and some Gundam there. Thank you. But like it's exactly that. Like if you look at your Instagram feed, look at all the stuff you like, right? Click on your search and see what comes up. You're gonna probably see a lot of stuff that is tailored in and around what you generally like. And if you looked at, say for example, you tap that, it'll say based off of what you've liked, you may like this, right? Yeah. So even on Facebook, how many times have you said something out loud, and you're like, you go to your Facebook and then boom, there's a sponsored ad for it.
True.
That's because your phone's recording you.
But I just my phone doesn't even need to be around me. I could be at work. My phone could be in my locker, right? But it's based off of what you're liking, what you're constantly sharing, what who you're talking to, that kind of stuff, right? Interacting, exactly.
People that you follow, all of that stuff. It's all based off of an algorithm.
I don't even know if I should drink. I'm gonna say this all okay. I don't even know if I drink. We drank last night.
Yeah, we went and saw the Joker.
Oh man. The Joker.
Yo, talk about that for a minute. Yeah,
the Joker. How
was it?
Let me tell you something.
I haven't seen it yet because it just came out, right?
Let's hear it. I'm not gonna give away too much, but
you don't have to worry about that with me first off, because I know Joker.
The movie,
right? So,
no spoilers.
The movie definitely deals with. I love the fact that it hits on mental illness.
Really?
And how much
in a very good way.
Cheers, good guys. My bad. Oh, good. Classes in session.
Back to the show.
This shit's gonna be
we should have said something like "Huzzah! The Knights of the Black, or Black People of the Knights Table," whatever thing we were saying.
So you don't even remember the name?
I don't, because y'all started arguing about it right away, and you weren't
Knights
clear.
Of the Black Table.
Okay, we should have been like "Huzzah! Knights of the Black Table."
We'll do the next one.
There we go.
Try
Come on, man, Monty Python.
I'm not against it. I'm just like,
huzzah!
You came up with it. It's like I'm gonna have to make you a central figure in this thing now.
I'm gonna have to marinate on it.
It's like, yeah, it's like a make you a central figure. You got some ideas and shit.
The thing, it really I left happy, and it was in some ways kind of sad. It was sad how certain things went down.
Beautiful cinema.
Definitely
I was gonna rack it up into one sentence. Beautiful cinema.
It was just
simple as that.
It was just like
when
you watch it, I'm telling you, it's gonna take you on this ride where you just unravel. And I was explaining it to this girl. I'm like, imagine a rubber ball that's made out of elastics, and it starts to snap, and that's how you're starting to see this movie. And you're watching it whole, and it's snapping, and it's just. Crazy.
I'm also taking this program, so I'm very biased right now about everything that I watch because of what I'm learning. Yeah. So there's a certain part in the movie where there's things happening with him and this woman, and my buddy looks at me and he's got this look on his face, and I'm like, no, these are delusions, bro. I'm almost 100% positive these are delusions, and you go through all of this, and the way that it's framed and shot, it's like, oh, no, this is where we're at. This is what's going on. And then you see that, none of that. It hits so big on mental. It's really beautiful cinema, man. Just beautiful cinema. And for anybody out there that hates on DC and says that they can't put out a decent movie, go check it out, man.
But it was Warner Brothers that put it out.
Yes.
And this is right. It's good that they didn't have the DC imprint all over it.
Exactly.
They didn't have it?
No.
Warner Brothers, just like Batman, and I think they took that whole idea when they did. I'm not talking Michael Keaton with
Mhm.
And remember when we were kids and we watched that movie for the first time? That movie made you go, "I want to be Batman,"
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, I mean immediately.
And you're sitting there going,
I don't, but
Ah,
that's because you're whack, man.
No,
Warner
Batman's
Warner
lame.
Brothers owns DC. So
Yo,
they
look,
trying to hide the emblem.
we are not going
That's
to
on
argue
them.
about this.
we will have this conversation one day, though. We will.
They're
I'm
trying to
telling
hide the
you, there are
emblem.
future
They're like,
shows.
this ain't a
There's a
DC
lot to
movie.
talk about.
Yeah.
We are not having
They
this
got-
conversation right now.
Always
I will
is.
shut down any bullshit
It's
that
one
you
of
want
those
to talk
things
about
where
Batman.
when you look at movies
You may be in
today,
the comic book shop,
and
but I got my
it's
motherfucking
really hard to
encyclopedias at the
find-
ready all the motherfucking
That's
time.
cool. I have a bunch of those at home too,
that
man.
hits you in a way where you're like, "Holy fuck, man!"
It'll be
That- I see that.
Vegeta and
scenario
Goku
happen.
ready to
I
battle.
see-
I see. Which
the
one
state
of
of
us
the
is
world
Vegeta
where
then?
we're
I'm
living.
Vegeta. You can go ahead and take Goku.
And that's the difference.
I
How are
love
you
that.
guys having a completely different conversation?
Because that's just how we are, man.
It happens all the time.
We on
It's not
pod
a-
though.
it's
You know
not
what I
a
mean?
part of
Stay
the
on
podcast.
topic. Stay on
Fine.
topic.
Stay on top.
Fine.
Man.
Sorry.
So, back to what the
I'm
fuck we were
Vegeta.
talking about.
I'm sorry.
This movie. This movie, I have to say, one of the best movies of the year. I'll give it that. I'm
Do you think it's better than Endgame?
no. It's a totally different situation.
It might be better than Spider-Man.
Definitely,
And
definitely
I'm
better.
like
Spider-Man.
I'm a
Spider-Man
See,
Far From Home
I-
wasn't that good.
no, it was
I
alright.
think what you guys
It
are
was
going in as this movie though, you're thinking it more like a superhero supervillain movie. From
no.
what because
No.
you're comparing it to those kind of movies right now.
No, I'm comparing it as
was-
a film
Yeah.
compared to those
But
other
and that's what I'm saying is like
films.
Endgame, you can't really put it up there because that's 10 years of culmination right there.
True
You know what I mean?
to a point, but you got to look at it as
A movie's a movie's a movie.
Yeah,
When
but
we
like-
really want to break it
movie like
down.
when you
I know, but-
Infinity War. Infinity War
Again, culmination though.
was incredible. That
Yeah.
you couldn't wait to see
Yeah.
Endgame. You couldn't wait to see how does this end. You put to be continued.
Yep.
Is it going to be a good to be continued,
Mhm.
or is it going to be sad? Is
Yeah.
it going to be just a real sappy way of trying to wrap this up?
Do
Take
you
all
still
my
get
money.
that shitty feeling after the snap?
A little bit.
I literally still get that shitty feeling after the
There's-
snap every single time. I'm like, oh, Thanos,
What
you
it
piece
is
of
to me,
shit.
I think when you think about the snap and you go back to think of like see it, everybody's like slowly turn to ash. The worst was like when you see what's his face like Vision and just he's dying like after the
I was happy.
I didn't like that.
He went out.
I loved him. I love Paul Bettany as Vision. He's my
I thought
favorite.
it was cool.
He's awesome.
I thought Vision,
then, like,
Vision was all right, but yo, when dude fucking pulled the shit out and you saw the fucking light force just,
Yeah.
just zip out of him, I'm like,
You're
you're a
a morbid fuck, bro.
Yeah.
I am.
You are a morbid.
I am.
bro.
I am.
There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you.
I don't fucking
Oh,
doubt
man.
that in any way.
But who is
I was
that?
kinda
There's
like-
one that was like actually
Ain't
reaching
nothing wrong
out,
with
and that one
Ain't
really
realistic.
affected
It,
you. the
it's
most.
real.
You know, you're sitting there going,
Black
You
Panther
fought
was
a good
reaching
fight.
out to
Yeah.
You
pick
sold
up
that snatch,
Okoye.
and that's just
That's
how
what it was.
You gotta
Yeah,
be a
when
pussy,
you,
right?
you
You
see
gotta
Black
be a
Panther
pussy.
just turn to
You know what
ash.
I mean?
you know,
Oh, man.
and
It's
you
like
saw
this is-
her
there's-
fucking try
this
to
is no
war up
place
that
to
shit.
die.
Yeah.
You living your
It's-
best life.
I
Yes.
don't know, man.
The only one,
But,
only
like,
a few of them that was actually
Again,
made
like
out.
you're comparing.
Well,
That they should.
well, but that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, this is why we have these conversations, because it's nice to see four minds
Yeah, of course.
really breaking it down and being like, how do you really feel from that? I'm morbid off watching Vision get.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? From that standard, when I saw Endgame coming and then they had the blip, and the way that they wrote that back in, it was just like, that's cool.
Emma Olsen dying really hurt me.
Who?
In Spider-Man?
No. Fucking Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
talk
when
about,
Black Widow died? Yo.
No, I was talking. Not Black Widow.
Oh.
You said.
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, did you say Scarlett Johansson? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought you said fucking Scarlet Witch. My bad.
Yo.
He said her name.
Yeah.
When,
Said Olsen.
when Black Widow
Yeah,
died,
Olsen.
man, I was just like,
Yeah,
yo,
He
my
did say
sis-
Olsen, right?
yeah, he did say
I
Olsen.
thought so, right? Yeah, he was talking about Scarlet Witch.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, he
but-
was, but he means Black Widow.
Okay,
Scarlett
okay,
Johansson.
fair.
No, I was talking about how I felt about that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No. We were talking about
He was talking about Scarlet Witch.
No. He was talking about Black Widow, but he said the Olsen. He said the wrong name, but he was talking about Black Widow.
No, I said her real name.
No. That's Scarlett Johansson.
No.
Oh, you're talking about
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
You're talking
Yeah.
about Scarlet
Yeah,
Witch.
that's what I thought. So he wasn't talking about.
No,
yeah,
I'm not talking
see?
about Scarlet Johansson.
And that's what I thought. I was confirming what you were
I'm
saying to
talking
make
about-
sure.
She died.
Yeah.
She didn't die. You're talking about
Because
the Olsen twin sister.
Yeah.
Awesome.
When she died in the movie, I like it hurt me.
No, she didn't die. You talking about
Yeah,
Black
she did. She got blipped out, bro.
She did.
Yeah,
She got blipped out, and she
Oh,
goes
yeah,
out in
okay.
like such a way. She like looks so hot, and it's like, oh no, she's gone. It
But they-
sucks.
They didn't necessarily die when they did.
I don't give a fuck if they necessarily died or not. She died to me, bro.
No, but when Black Widow died, I'm like, yo, that was cheese. Even my son
Yo,
was just like, they killed my girl. They killed my girl.
like I don't get. And then you know what's funny? Like he can confirm this for me. The Soul Stone in the comic books does not happen that way.
No, it really doesn't.
It doesn't.
Mm.
So that's what pisses
There
me off
is
when
a
you see
soul
some
world.
that aspect, because you're like to kill for one dude for another. Yo, throw a red freaking skull down there, man. At this
You could,
point,
like literally,
You
you
know
could
what I mean?
throw,
Just,
if it was the comic books, it would
Yeah,
be,
man.
if it was a soul for a soul. If that's really how you had to get the stone, then it would just be like, yeah. So we're gonna bring that villain, and we're gonna just
Right?
chuck him off this fucking.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
but the
no,
thing
no, but
is,
you feel it. You feel it more. It's
It-
moving.
you-
I get that.
You feel
I don't
it
give a
more.
fuck.
No, you feel
And
it.
it's about
you
the
felt
money.
that.
Yeah.
You felt you didn't feel that?
It's about the money.
I wanted Hawkeye to die so bad.
Yeah, but he had a family. But you ain't feel that?
Fuck his family.
But you know how good if it would have been if he did die, right? Because he actually does die in the comics just before post Civil War,
Yeah.
right? So if they killed him off and it's Scarlet Witch that magically killed him off, right? It would have been okay because then at this point we could have brought him back in some kind of way because the comics bring him back. That's how he gets
Oh.
that costume.
In the
Oh,
comics,
Right, he takes the costume of a girl who no longer wants to be Ronin, and it's one of his old like workmates and shit.
Right.
This girl named
New
Maya.
Avengers shit.
right?
What?
And
Yeah.
then he's like, yeah, New Avengers, and I have that comic book at home, and it's fucking dope. He comes walking back into Doctor Strange's mansion, and everyone's like, the fuck, you're still alive? And he's like, yeah, I just woke up in a hotel halfway across the fucking world.
And I've just been killing ninjas on my way back to New
Yeah.
York.
Sorry, Chewy, go.
Yeah. In the
He's like,
comics,
he's
no,
like,
I'll tell you, okay. In the comics, though, they bring everybody back. But
They don't bring everybody back.
not everybody, but
But
9
that's the
times out of
thing.
10, they can.
But
if
they
they
kept
wanted
him.
to.
They kept
could bring
him.
them
But
back.
they
That's what I'm
kept
trying to say.
Hawkeye dead for at least a good couple years, though. In comics. That's what's good.
Mm.
Like they did the same thing for Carnage. Carnage, they kept him dead from New Avengers up until like a good 3 years after.
Okay.
Right,
it
so
was
they
a couple,
do
It was a couple years after,
Yeah.
and like the way they brought him back was a little vague and weird,
Mhm.
and like they didn't do much with him when they brought him back. I feel bad for him. I
Yeah.
feel bad for a lot of characters that were made
Yeah.
in the '90s because they are awesome characters,
Mm.
but there was nothing for them by the time the comic bus came.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it like
It was
in the
his time when he
90s,
sold off.
the 90s comic books were really kind of a new awakening.
No,
In
in
a
the
sense.
'90s, the comics were fucking. People thought they were gonna get fucking rich, like idiots.
Yep.
So they go out and they buy, like, okay, you see these X-Men's, all of these ones, this whole run you see right here.
Buy
People
it.
went out and bought that shit in fucking droves,
Oh,
and like
right there. That's your
and-
biggest pick
and,
right
and
there.
Superman, the death of Superman, that's another one.
That's not even the death. That's the rebirth. That's the next one. When he
I
comes
think
back.
that's the Rebirth comic,
Yeah.
but the death
That's
is
the
over
one.
there.
Yeah.
Like it's all there. Like I said, you have.
I
people went out
remember
and-
how expensive that comic book was.
You know, it's $10 at my store right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all
Like, you can
cheap.
buy it
People were like, I
Because
People thought
remember
that'd be 20 grand right now.
Because there's,
100%.
because
Because
there's
at the time,
millions of them
that was
out
the
there.
first
There's
time
millions
that they
of them.
went and said, we're going to kill off an iconic character.
It's not that. Look, it's not the same.
And then it changed. But if you look at, like, and back to TV shows,
Mhm.
it's like looking at Games of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, thank
You know what I mean? These shows start killing off people. So, like Walking Dead, the biggest thing, and that's what you saw in TV shows now.
no, it's not.
Before.
Look, it's not the same.
No,
Here,
but hear
I'm
me
showing
out.
you the.
TV shows-
Let
No,
me
but-
show you.
yeah,
Let me
but
show
hear
you
me
the
out.
contrast. Let me show you the contrast.
Yeah, but hear me
right?
out. The thing about it was is that when you start making it real for people to be eliminated,
What's so funny over there?
Sorry?
Nothing.
when people start getting eliminated,
Mhm.
and when you're killing off people, being like, "Yo, fuck it," end that person in the first 15 minutes of the show, bringing
What?
that hype, and then you start seeing that reality into the world. Like when people talk about the purge, we live the purge.
No.
As much as you say
purge?
no,
It's
we
coming.
live the purge.
Yeah, it's coming.
No.
Man, people are getting
You
fucking
guys are-
shot.
like,
That
you
shit
guys
happens
are-
every
Yo,
day, bro.
how many fucking open mass shootings are going on
Hold on.
Okay,
today?
well,
Before, hold up. Before you go off the rails here, let me show you the contrast of the comics from the '90s to right now. Okay, so people, like I said, would go out and buy a whole bunch of these fucking things, and So like, let's say it's 1992. The X-Men are starting their second run. Jim Lee, a bunch of variant covers, blah, 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 blah. You go to the store, you're like, oh, this is going to be fucking worth tons of money and fucking when my kids are fucking whatever in like the next 20 years or something like that. So you buy every single fucking cover that there is. Or you'll go and you'll buy one, like that Superman book, you'll go and you'll buy 5 of those just because you think, oh, I'll keep one for myself and it's going to make so much money. So I'll end up like being able to sell these off like this and get whatever the fuck I want to get out of it. Shit doesn't end up working out that way. Marvel almost goes fucking bankrupt. DC is owned by Warner Brothers, so they're always good, no matter what the fuck is going to happen.
Marvel sold all the properties.
So Marvel sells
they
their
just didn't
properties.
have great writers at
Okay,
the time.
But
for that.
here's the flip now. You can attest to this. Thanos 13? Thanos number 13? The first fucking cosmic Ghost Rider?
Mm.
Bro, I saw that comic book sitting in the comic books like store when I just went in, I'm looking at shit. It's like, oh yeah, first printing right there, just sitting there, $4.99. You can just buy it. I go back 2 months later, can't find the first printing of it anywhere because I'm trying to get into Thanos. Like I'm liking all of this stuff they're putting out, trying to get into it. You know how much that book runs for right now? A first printing of that shit, like over $200.
Yeah,
probably even more.
Oh. Let me tell you another beautiful story in tangent with this. Have you guys ever heard of a series called Batman Damned?
Yep.
You have, of course.
The dick thing?
Oh, so for you guys who don't know, DC decided to do this whole Black Label thing, right? Where it's supposed to be more adults, it's really just bloodier, right? Because they can get away with it now. In this series, they, for the first time in Batman Damned, I think it's, who's the one that does the artwork? And it's going to kill me. I can't remember who does
Brian Azzarello?
No, it's someone else.
Or is it the Italian dude? I don't remember the who drew it. I just know that you get to see like
so literally in like the first few pages, you see a flaccid dick, not even a hard dick, flaccid. As he gets up out of bed, whips his sheets off, and he hits on the phone, and you're like, okay. But everyone went shit crazy over it. They're like, oh my god, it's the Bat Dick, it's the Bat Dick, it's the first appearance of the Bat Dick, right? To the point where that number one comic got pretty much bought off the shelves. Any copies we had a shit ton of copies, right? People came in, I want to buy it, I want to buy it, I want to buy it. Literally for the dick.
That's crazy.
Right? It's crazy because like people like him, he wanted to read the story. He wanted to go in and actually know what's going on with the character, right? But now he has to wait for a graphic novel that's going to have it collected if he's lucky, right? But even then,
buy
it's
a second,
or
third,
buy
fourth, fifth, sixth printing
exactly,
or some bullshit like that.
Because
that
of speculators.
Isn't going to be worth money.
Yeah, so much speculating that happens now,
And
it's
it won't
insane.
be.
Oh, actually, that comic now runs for $200 too, just because of the dick.
Like, this
Just
is what I'm
because of the
saying.
D?
In contrast now,
Yeah.
so like, take a. Okay, so this right. This is $7.99.
Red Goblin, right?
So yeah,
First appearance.
No.
Okay.
I think this one is the first appearance.
Okay.
This is that book, and this is like a fourth printing because again, I was in the comic book store, didn't have enough money to buy. It was not what I was looking for initially when I went in there. So it's like, oh, I'll just get it the next time. Come in the next time, and it's like, oh no, we don't have any more of those. But they're sending out third and fourth printing variants. So when we get one, you can get one. The original printing of that shit, like $120 right now.
Yep.
When you initially paid like $6 for that fucking book.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are in a good business. So for me,
Yes and
as
no.
a
It's
spectator,
yep.
you know what I mean? It's one of those things where enjoying the hobby. You know what I mean? This hobby is and I don't even like using the word hobby. I don't know what a better word. Maybe collector.
It's kind of a borderline obsession. It depends on where
Can
you're
be.
at.
Well, because that's the thing. Like when I look at porn, I'm sitting there going, "Fuck." The amount of porn that I fucking had in
I
collection.
don't know if you can be obsessed with porn. I think
Oh,
that's
Of
more
porn,
of
you
a,
don't
course,
get it, huh?
you can be obsessed
He
with
was
porn.
Hold
beating
up,
off
you didn't
10
let me finish. You
10
didn't let me
50
finish.
times a day.
I think that's more of an addiction. It's not as much an
It's
obsession.
one and
as
the
it is
same.
Okay,
it's not one and the same.
It is one and the same because
If you have to
look
at
at
it,
how
that is an
much
addiction.
money you have invested in your obsessions. This is an obsession. This is
I
right.
don't know if
This is an obsession.
necessarily
100%.
Also,
one and the
I
same.
didn't
I'd say
know.
more of a hobby in this scenario.
No, it's one and
No,
the same.
because you got to
It's an
look at it.
addiction and a hobby.
You gotta
No, because if
look
he
at
was
it.
obsessed, that first printing he would have found.
Mm.
He would have paid for it.
Yeah,
right?
No, he was. No, he wasn't.
I see.
No,
in my
he
industry,
yeah,
I
yeah,
see
you
people
don't
who are really
understand,
obsessed.
bro.
No,
You get him a you get him.
he
a,
wasn't on that one. But if it was a different one, boom, 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 he'd
Yeah,
be
but
on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
if I'm
it's-
paying attention to that shit already, then I know to go and pick up the book, or that book is
Yeah.
going to be there for me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you don't pay attention to every single one like that. Even if it was,
That's why it's just a hobby as opposed to an obsession.
Who's your favorite?
What? Spider-Man.
Yeah, look at all these Spider-Mans.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
do you know which Spider-Man is the which though?
Like this is a varying amount of fucking
There's actually a lot
Spider-Man
of
comics.
Spideys out here.
Like there's different guys in the suit. These aren't all just Peter
I
Parker.
know.
Like, and
Then
it's
on
not
top of
even-
that, there's different
I know,
writers.
I
Then
know,
on top
I
of
know,
there's
I know.
different artists.
Like
Right.
it's a bunch of different shit. Like
Is
some
he-
of this is a matter of circumstance. Like all of these like ones down here, the superior ones, and like all of these ones in the late 600s and 700s, like those are only there because they were the most accessible to get. My goal initially was to try and get them all.
I think in a scenario where he would be
That's an
upset.
addiction.
That's not an
I
addiction.
think if
That's a
it-
You
goal.
want them all.
That's a goal. It's a goal I set for myself
It
when I
is
was a
goal,
kid.
but it is a see.
That's different.
You've
I'm
been
not
addicted since a
obsessed.
kid.
I'm not going out of my way to buy
yeah,
these
true.
books. Like
Yeah.
even
I
right
think-
now,
yeah.
I'm buying. He can tell you.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a Spider-Man. Like I think that book on the table is the first Spider-Man book I bought in like months.
You're
Oh,
fully
life
functional.
story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
No,
fully
life story,
functional.
The
Yeah.
new run.
The
whatever that
J.J.
new-
Abrams.
You're an addict, but you're fully functional. Just like a crackhead that goes to work every day and is good.
Bro,
Still
get the
gotta
fuck
get
out of
high.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
wait. No, he's not.
No.
Listen, man,
A
it's not the
crackhead will
same.
sell everything in their soul just to get a bump.
Yeah, bro.
This man still he's paying his bills. He's
They
paying his
got-
bills
yeah,
and he's
They
getting
got fully functional
Yeah.
crackheads to do all that shit.
No.
Oh,
There are some
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fucked up
yeah.
crackheads out there.
I
They're
know,
not
yeah,
wrong.
of course.
They're not wrong.
I know, but at the same
time,
time, like
no, it's
no,
not,
man.
bro. You're pushing.
That's
my
a
shit-
stretch. That's
you're
a
trying
stretch.
to push my shit onto a different level, yo.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
I was
This
just making an
is
example.
nowhere near as bad as some. Like I've seen people's collections. Like a couple years ago, people were like dumping out comics like crazy. I don't even know what was going on, but people were just dumping out their freaking collections and shit
Mhm.
like crazy. That's how I ended up with so many
I did
extra
that.
books at that time. Because like I knew some of these kids that were dumb enough and they thought they could make money off of collections, but they don't know what they have in their hands,
Yeah.
so they're just sitting.
Yo,
on
you want a
bunch
shot
of
of rum?
Oh shit, my bad, Anthony. Yo,
Yo, you want to grab a couple?
by all means. He's playing Metro. Super
yeah,
Metroid over there. And like
Right.
I
So-
honestly I thought he would have given it about 5-10 minutes and he would have
No,
just
he
like
didn't.
threw it down.
He
But
didn't.
he's like in it to win it right now, bro.
I beat this game like probably like 20, 30 times.
Oh, okay,
I
so you
love
know
it.
it's-
No, I'm appreciating it. Like,
That's awesome.
I
This
love
is
it so
like-
much right
this-
now.
So
For me, this is like, you know, when you reread one of your comic books, I'm just reading.
No, bro. Look, I'm in the middle of 3 different games of Super Mario World on that right now, bro. Don't get it twisted.
What
Like,
about Final Fantasy 3?
I haven't started.
Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I haven't started yet. I'm gonna beat everything on that thing eventually. That's why I bought it. The PlayStation was a waste of
Oh,
money.
that's garbage. I got that too.
Earthbound.
That's my kid.
Earthbound, I've never played.
Never played it.
What?
I've never played, but I'm totally interested in sitting down. Like I said, I'm in school. I fucking work, and then I try and meet up with all you nice motherfuckers. Like
We can't be friends.
we can't be friends. Whatever, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
So while I know we have totally run off on a tangent
Oh.
from the Joker
100%.
thing, right? I want to bring it back to that for a quick second.
Okay.
While we were talking and doing our whole rant about tangent and everything like that, to look up the rest of the movies that came out this year.
Right.
And realistically, there wasn't a lot of good shit.
No,
And, like I was thinking about it, and I'm like, Alita Battle Angel probably would have been the best contender for cinematics wise because
You know
the
what?
actors were great.
I watched the movie,
Yeah.
and to be totally honest with you, it had some high points, it had
Yeah.
some low points,
but not
and
that good for you, eh?
Garbage.
It was just, how do I say it?
I had high hopes. It was garbage.
I was watching it and I got lost in the storyline. Like the storyline just got too emotional at some points and too
Okay,
this
okay.
and that.
Did it seem very drawn out to you or something?
Yeah, it was just like, they had some really huge actors in
Mhm.
this movie.
Yeah, Christoph Waltz was in it. Freaking the black dude who's now going to be set to play Blade.
Blade?
What's his name?
Yeah, they had what's her name?
Yeah.
One of my favorites,
Mahershala Ali. Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yes, I haven't seen her in a movie in a while too, right? Like
Actually,
beforehand, I hadn't
the
seen her
thing
in a while.
about it is she's in movies, but she's not in movies that you want to watch.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's the thing. She was in this firefighting this forest firefight movie. She's in, and the thing I like about her, she really chooses the
I
roles
told you
that she
go
goes
off the
into.
rails.
Oh, for sure.
So when she goes into certain kind of movies, she's particular, and I liked how sexy she was in that
Oh,
movie.
man, she always is.
She's, you know what I mean.
She's
Requiem of a Dream is a fucking brilliant movie.
That is a great movie.
You know what I mean?
Fun fact.
Yeah.
She's married to the Vision. If you didn't know that. Now
Paul
you know.
Bettany?
True.
Sir,
True.
for a long time.
You're like,
True.
you're like that.
Yoda, you know what I mean?
It's like, yo, you want to
Like
know?
Yoda.
You want to know who this woman in Hollywood is? Just holler at my.
But
nigga
that
Shoe.
brings us to our next subject, actually. Reality TV and all the shit that we pollute our minds with. Hence, knowing celebrity couples.
Not me. I don't pollute my mind.
I don't give a
with any
shit
of
about that shit, but it's some people do
Hey,
it, and it's not a bad thing, right? It's just it's
I know
it's
some
top
couples that are
conversation.
together, and
It's
I get
not-
blown away by it.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
That's it.
from fucking different world,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Kadeem?
I didn't know that fucking what's his name,
Kadeem Harrison?
Kadeem Harrison, and fucking
Hardison.
Hardison,
Hardison, my bad.
and the girl from the Cosby Show, fucking Denise, not Denise. What was the other? What was the one sister that always? Yeah, Denise.
He's married to the girl from Different World, but she's only.
Well, he's from Different World.
No,
She's from the Cosby Show.
Yeah, but she's in Different World too. His wife?
Oh no, you're talking about
Wife?
light skinned one.
No, I'm not talking about Whitley. The other license.
Yeah. See,
That's what-
you gotta keep these motherfuckers right here. 'Cause why the fuck we here is to give you that shit.
That's exactly right.
They're gonna give you the knowledge of comic books.
I don't know
They're
what
gonna give you the
Whitley
knowledge
looks
of
like
fucking-
these
Yeah.
days. But I watched a
Celebrity
Different World
lifestyle.
back in the day, and like, yo, I watch it sometimes because Ray is a weirdo and he watches BET.
Hey man.
He's-
BET's dope.
No, I'm not saying it's
Well,
not
you-
dope.
well, it
I'm
used to
saying that he's
No, actually, I
a
kind of
white
like
guy
the
that
new,
primarily
the new
likes
BET.
sports.
Yeah.
So when I
Like
come in
couple
and he's
shows,
sitting
better
here just
shows.
watching some
Shows,
random shit like
As a whole-
the
I
House
missed the
of
music
Pain or
I
something,
missed the music
I'm
part.
like, what are you doing? And he's like, I was
Can I see
watching
that,
House of Pain.
Culture. I'm trying to be cultured.
No, he's good. Like he's
Yeah.
good, bro.
You trying to be up on culture. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
We'd be sitting there watching that shit all the time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I actually flipped on the Wayans brothers a while back.
Oh, that's the best
Yo.
show in the
Yo,
world.
that show's
That's the
fun.
best
Yo.
show in the world. Double
Yeah.
That shit
Double
makes you.
that.
That
That's the
shit
best in the
makes
world.
you laugh. That shit makes you laugh every single time. Yo, the Wayans brothers.
Yo.
I was mad. I was
I love
mad.
I love
Because-
Hannah Wins.
Oh,
When
man.
you look at Martin's show,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is,
Yo,
it was
don't
really
talk
dope.
shit.
No, Martin's
Don't
dope.
talk shit.
Don't get me
Yo,
wrong.
Martin's dope.
Martin was more adult.
It was
he was a
when
more
we were
grown.
I
kids.
mean, if it was
We
more
were
grown,
kids.
then I
Yeah, he was
too
a more
young to
grown.
watch
And
it.
I was too young to
Yeah,
watch
the
it.
Wayans
Malcolm
brothers
and
were
Eddie, like
our 20s.
grown.
It was our 20s
Yeah.
being like, yo,
Yeah.
you come home from the bar and you're like, Wayans brothers on? We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored.
Give me a high five.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, but
And they had two different intros. The one where they like walk, like don't
They
do,
walk the lady?
and then the old lady across the street, or the other one was like a subway one going on.
because that was the Sprite commercial.
Yeah.
So- So with that, the thing that I loved about that show is it's the Wayne brothers. Like
Yeah, man.
you can't say anything bad about them. And the thing is, they got blacklisted
Oh, they told it.
because they were just that great. In Living Color was great
Oh,
till
beautiful.
everybody left.
Yep.
Well, everybody
Till-
left because they tried to change the rules.
Yeah.
Well, at that point they were blowing up, so it was just like, oh, yo, let's run it. Like I'm still gonna make all my money
Look,
as long as
I'm probably going to get in
running.
trouble for saying what I'm about to say, but like, I don't care about how the world views things these days. I ain't a bitch. Outside of that,
What does that got to do with what the fuck you
hold up, man. Let me say what I
Get
got
to
to
the
say,
punch,
man.
man.
You're making me forget what I want to say because I'll be drinking and shit, bro.
All right, man. Go ahead.
Like, why you got to do that?
Because it's what I do.
I don't
That's why we do the show.
understand.
Does it purposely for that reason.
It's so annoying.
It's what we do for the show.
Give
Right.
me a high five. hey.
Y'all just go ahead.
Yep, yep.
Y'all just go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I lost it already. It's gone. It's like literally gone.
Yo.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, it's
Yeah.
slipping away. It's going. It's
When
gone.
you guys get a chance, though, if you guys like the Wayans brothers, check out Marlon.
Yo, I'm
Yo,
already there.
That
I
show
already-
is so funny.
They're not bringing it back.
I know. I was so upset.
They're not
You get 2
bringing it back.
seasons and that was it.
I'm like,
I
give
was like,
me
yo!
a third season.
Yo,
Because he's the dopest
He's hilarious.
dad.
Right from the first episode, he looks at his girl and the girl's like, "I'm being bullied at school." He's like, "You're being bullied.
You're black.
You're black. You
I don't know
don't
what
get
school.
bullied." And he just gets up. He's like,
White kid school.
he just gets all mad and everything. What you need to do is you need to go back. Oh, you wait. I'm braiding my hair because this shit gonna be real. This shit gonna be real. I got my
Hold on one
Vaseline, bitch. I got my. You want talk? You want talk?
You don't know me.
And
You
bro-
don't know me.
And it brings you back to Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince and Wayne's Brothers to me. It took me back to Wayne's Brothers for more because that's how he acted in Wayne's Brothers.
True.
Right? So, oh man, it's too good.
Is that the
Too
guy,
good.
man? Spanish guy?
But yeah, man, frig. They don't make shows like they do, man, back in the day. That's for sure. No,
Well,
they
see,
don't.
the thing about it is when you look at black television shows,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is, it's just for me,
Don't say the thing about it is,
why?
because that's not just what it is.
But it is.
There's a lot of politics involved, but you know what I mean. Just.
But
Yeah,
there are
man.
certain, look, there are certain shows
You got to look at Marlon, and the reason why they don't want to bring a show
you
back.
can no, don't. Okay,
Why
go
do
ahead.
they? Why
Go
do they
ahead.
not want to bring a show
Go
back?
Break it down.
It's
way
because of
down.
the fact that it only reaches
One Democrat.
black.
Yes.
One Democrat.
That's not the only reason.
But
it's on
that-
Netflix,
it's not the only
right?
reason.
Is it on Netflix?
It is on Netflix.
Okay.
However, to be fair, and I'm going to say this because I've been dating a white girl for a while, she would not have watched the show
Without you.
had I put that on,
Okay,
right?
let me say this to you.
Let's say
no.
She
we all
watches
did
reruns of that 70s show, reruns of The Ranch
Shit, listen.
on
Hey.
a regular. Don't
Hey.
I don't be wrong. I fucking love The Ranch.
I love The
fucking-
Ranch.
Yo,
I love
Sam
The
Elliott's my fucking dude, man. That man is
I was
hilarious.
Roadhouse?
only introduced to this the other
Roadhouse?
day. I don't know.
Yo,
what.
Yo,
The Ranch is
Sam
hilarious.
Elliott in the Roadhouse.
Yes, right?
Listen, just listen.
He's still alive.
He's
Oh
old.
my God,
He's
that's
classic.
good.
He's still alive.
Show me some tits
Can't
on
go
an
wrong.
He
almond.
is the Marlboro man.
Yeah.
Hey, motherfuckers, listen. Netflix spends a ridiculous amount of fucking money
Mhm.
to run all of the shows, especially the original content that they have running.
That's
They
true.
spend a shit ton of money
You're
doing
number
that.
one.
They cannot keep up with the demand that they have going on.
No,
Because
but-
of the, no, don't say no.
No, I'm going to give you one thing.
What?
Netflix doesn't renew shows after 3 seasons because they don't want
Yes,
to
they
pay.
do.
No, a couple of shows.
No,
Uh,
flagship shows that are original content.
No.
What
Only
are
a
you
couple of
talking
shows.
about?
It's well known. You can go there. They
What do you
don't want to pay.
But,
It's not
Every season
I-
the show is on.
It's not the
Shoot,
same.
I'm gonna have to
Double the
disagree with
value
you on
they
that
have
one,
to
man.
pay.
And here's
When it comes to
one.
Netflix,
You can Google
When it
that.
comes-
Yes.
Yeah, but hold a minute
Google
though.
that.
Again, I'm still gonna have to kind of contradict you on
Google
that one. One show,
Some of it.
6 seasons.
Yes.
I think it's
no,
6
no.
seasons.
I never said every. I never said every show.
I know, but like there's
Majority.
there's a lot of Netflix content out there that has more than 2
Or you didn't
This is
visit.
on the
It's the
doorstep.
majority. It's the majority.
Okay, you're on camera. Like we're
Seven.
recording. What are you doing?
65.
But you know what show I'm
shows.
talking about though, right?
I don't know. You gotta tell me.
House
That
of
guy
Cards.
thinks his name is
Yeah,
The
that was one,
Fire,
but it's done
but
now.
it's really
Yeah,
not.
they have House of
Scandal.
Cards.
They had the
He's
scandal
been
going
ice
on.
cold
Scandal
for
wasn't- but
years.
Scandal wasn't
No,
Netflix.
I'm talking about the show.
Yeah.
House of Cards had a
Oh
scandal. That's
shit!
why they
This
had it.
motherfucker
Yeah, but they
brought
got
me a
it
Cuban.
That was the number one
Yeah.
show though.
But then
They
you
got
also
it.
have the
well,
show
whatever.
they took from the
Get
UK.
fucking out of here, man. This motherfucker's
Oh my
scary.
god, why can't I think of the show? Yo, guys, what's that super like crazy makes
People.
you freaking paranoid
I
show
love
that's
my
on Netflix?
friends. I live a good life. I'm very blessed.
Black
Mirror.
Mirror.
I love that show.
But they took that from
But
UK,
listen, yeah, no, but listen.
right?
I didn't say every show.
I know.
I
I'm
said
just
the majority.
If you're gonna sit down, sit down.
Fair enough, fair enough.
60s, high
What's up, man?
60s,
Wait a minute.
70%. Well,
I know we've met at some point in
At
time.
some point, yes.
Right, like
all
so.
your favorite shows
I know I've
Hold
seen
up.
you
Hold
looking
up.
around, but
What,
on Netflix.
dude? You're not right about that.
You can Google that, bro.
I don't
Everybody
need
knows
to
that.
Google anything.
Well, no.
I'm in a fucking class that tells me about
Later?
this shit all the
Later?
time.
They don't
Let her
tell,
go.
they're not going to tell you about Netflix not renewing shows after
What do
3
you
seasons.
fucking mean they're not
They
gonna
don't wanna
tell
pay.
me?
Not
No
every
problem,
show,
man.
but about 60-65%. Yeah,
Bro, listen.
like that.
You're not
High.
listening to
You
me.
got more beer?
Yes, sir.
A lot of this
My
stuff,
man.
Hey, buddy.
My man.
Feeling good?
Doing, bro.
the
Looking nice.
motherfucker,
Looking sharp.
you're not even listening. Fuck you, Chew.
No, I'm on point, dog. Telling you.
okay, but
Go on Google
I
right
do
now.
agree a little bit with what he says, just because of one. It's just in the regards to Marlon, because the show itself
It's
is
based
more.
off of demographics.
Yeah.
They have.
And the
It's
demographic
not-
is mostly
no.
black.
It's not
You're
that
not-
bad.
You're not
Hold
getting.
up.
You're
It's not
not
about
getting.
You're not
the
letting me
white-
finish.
Yeah.
You're not letting me finish. It's not just the demographic that it's going out to. It's also based off of clicks and numbers.
No.
They
Yes.
can see their numbers in real time. Just because
Yeah.
you and a
Always-
million
they've
people
always
stop
been
it.
able to do that.
Listen, listen.
No,
listen.
they haven't always been.
What are you talking about?
It comes. It,
Oh my god!
it comes.
I'm
Aaron
let
Spelling.
in the
Yo,
class.
let me tell you something.
Killing me
Yo,
right
Aaron
now.
Spelling.
class.
It is
class-
so annoying.
Let's talk
The
about.
class wants you to
Hold on,
pay
hold on,
money
hold on.
to go
Hold
there
on a
and
second,
learn.
Hold on, topic of the day.
But
Hold on,
We're
hold on.
talking
No, no,
just
no,
about
no,
how
I just wanna
Netflix
say
Go
and
ahead,
their
go ahead.
algorithms
the class
work
wants you to
in
go
regards
money
like-
so
oh,
you
we
can
actually
pay it.
know.
Let me break it down to you. It comes
Starting
down to
with
dollars
Marlon?
and cents.
Right, we were talking about how
Every
Marlon
time they
doesn't,
make a show, every season
the
they have
reason
to
why they
pay.
don't have a third season is because of their how
The
much.
longer
Bro,
the show goes
how
on,
much
they have to
They're
pay
paying
double the
out
amount of
billions
money
of dollars to put
for
out
the show.
a whole bunch of different content.
Yes.
They didn't re-sign with Marvel partially because Marvel was gonna go with the like they have the Disney
Disney
app,
Plus.
so
Yeah.
that shit's gonna come out or
I know.
whatever the
I'm
hell
not
the case
talking
may
about the
be.
Marvel show.
Hold up. But it's not just
Oh, yeah,
because of
thank you.
that.
No problem.
It's the fact that they can't afford to pay
Yeah,
out all of these
yeah,
people.
that's the main
continually.
reason, though.
Not just
Every
that,
season
though.
you have to pay
It's
more and more
not-
money.
It's not just that. Not
That's the
enough
number one
people
reason.
watch things.
No, that's the number
Not
one
enough
reason.
people watch
Yes,
things.
that's part of it.
People Netflix binge things.
Yes.
They'll see it once and they don't go back to it,
Yes.
bro. This is part of this.
That's part
shit.
of it. I'm telling you the number
Hold
one
on.
reason.
No,
The number
that
one
is
reason
not the
is
number
money.
one reason. The
Comes
number
down
one
dollars and
reason
cents.
it comes
Everything almost
down
comes
to
down to dollars and
views,
cents.
bro. It
No,
comes
it's not.
down to views.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Netflix got on because of views. People are checking out their shit on a high fucking level. They made that deal with Marvel initially.
leaving
Do you know how many more
Netflix.
views they get because all of those Marvel movies
Of
are
course.
sitting on there
Of
right now?
course.
Oh, hey, but we're gonna like
People
go
are
and see this
canceling
movie, so we
Netflix
should
every
watch this
day.
first, just to make sure we brush. Like
Every
this is
day.
part of the demographic. This is how these people make money, bro.
Yeah, Netflix.
I've
is
been
whack.
waiting for you to
That's
say
whack.
something
Then you
for
put
like
half of a
ever.
brain, they get a fucking
They fell
Android box,
not
Android
the
box.
Android box, an IPTV.
IPTV, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got-
Whatever,
that's
man.
all
I got one.
We're not talking about that's not the point right now. That's not the point right now. If you're not going to be on the camera,
You can go
then
on
you
Google.
cannot keep doing that.
See what
If
I'm
you're
saying?
not going to be on the camera, then you
Go on Google
cannot
right
keep
now and
doing
Google
that.
why Netflix doesn't
All right?
renew
Like, you
shows
cannot.
after 3 seasons. While they hardly do it. They do some of them, but
Whatever.
Yo, man,
But it is
another,
based
you
off
need another
views, though.
sip, brother.
It is
You
based
need
off.
to sip on that shit
Yeah,
right there.
but then, hold a minute.
You don't need to be offering
Okay,
this shit.
not about
You need to
Wait,
stop
wait,
doing
wait. I have a way to help
views.
calm this entire
It's about money.
conversation here.
Go for it.
So, Chewy, you're saying is based off money.
Yes.
You're saying is based off views.
No,
Right?
I said no. I said the number one reason is
money and dollars and
the
cents.
views is part of it, but the
Yes.
number one reason is after
Views
3
create
seasons.
money. There is
Yeah.
no
But
money
there
without
is no-
views.
No, because it's
So,
how
but
many
yeah, you
seasons?
have to understand that. Like exactly that. When they
There
look
is
at
no money
Some of the
without
highest
views.
rated shows been canceled after 3 seasons. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No,
but no, it's
No.
views that
because we live
stopped
in a
it.
because
If it's a
right.
look, listen.
We live in a time of the views are more popular than the actual.
Exactly.
If it's a highly
Oh my
rated
God.
show, like you say, people will sit there and they will binge the shit out of it. The moment that it comes out, oh my god, Orange is the New Black, the new season's coming out, oh my god, and for the next 2 fucking days, for the next 2
Yeah,
weeks,
they do
it's
that.
all over the
They do
fucking
that.
internet, and
Their
everybody
viewership
binges the
goes right up.
shit out of it,
But
and
you
they
didn't
get
hear what I said.
mad
Yeah,
views
it's not
in
about
that
that.
time. Listen,
After-
You,
it
you look
is
like you have
about
something
that
to say.
because
It's
the
about
I got
money,
something.
You can
money.
go on Google. You Google right now, bro. After the 3rd season, they have to pay.
Oh, you're killing me
double.
right now.
You're not listening. I'm saying they double the amount of money after the 3rd season.
But
Do you
it
think
depends.
That's why they canceled the
Do you
show.
think the world is flat
They don't want to
too?
pay that. Never, bro. Come on.
I respect you so much more right now.
Come on, bro. I don't make shit up. I come with facts.
He does have a
Google
really
right
good
now,
point,
bro.
and there's a show
Talk
you
about
guys should
dollars
check
and
out
cents.
if you get a chance.
That's why they raised
Orville.
the
Have you guys
price.
ever watched the Orville?
I did watch Orville, and for me being a Trekkie, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to watch because
That's fine.
they're reconfiguring the whole ideal of Star Trek.
So I get what you're saying. I will contradict it in one way. The
Okay.
only way is this: even though he's using the whole Trek, we'll say blueprint,
Yes,
right? If you actually pay attention to his shows,
it's even better.
he has such an underlying hit at what's going on in our social issues. It is
But that's what's
ridiculous.
But that's what Star Trek was about to begin with.
No, but I mean, like he does it so like. There's one episode
It's
he does.
more. I know what you're saying. You're saying
I guess more
as
as
well
now, more present,
as what we were talking. It's progressive.
progressive.
It's
But-
really and it's on point.
Yes, and but he does knock it.
No, he's utilizing what was
Yes.
to make you see
Do you have cable
what
at
is
home?
cured. I have IP.
What do you have? Do you have cable at home?
I got about 3 different. I
Do
have
you
IP, Android, but I got Netflix, all of that shit.
Okay, do you have cable at home?
No, I don't
Traditional
know.
cable. Do you have cable?
No, no cable.
Arjun, you got cable at home?
Nobody watches cable.
You have cable at home?
I don't watch.
Fun fact: nobody watches cable no more.
Anthony, you got cable?
I don't watch.
No, he said
That's a dumbass
IPTV.
question.
That's why they have
I have
Netflix.
IPTV, but I don't even really watch that. The only time I ever really watch normal people TV is like when somebody's over. When I'm at
Okay.
home chilling by myself.
Wow, that's
I'm
crazy.
educating
1, 2, 3,
myself
4, 5, 6, 7.
Nobody
eight.
watches
There are
Well,
seven
we're in the new
Nobody watches
age
cable.
of
Yeah, but I
technology.
do.
Oh yeah, you're
That's
one of the
true.
few.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
'Cause you
but
ain't
the only
tapped in.
reason why you watch that is because it's already been paid for.
Yeah, you ain't tapped in.
No.
Huh?
Would you
that
pay
person,
for it?
that person hasn't
Yeah.
changed the.
You
they
haven't
haven't
cable.
changed into
You
the
ain't
app.
tapped in.
Let me take
'Cause
away
cable gives you
myself
nothing.
from it because yo,
No.
my IP.
No, I had cable. I cut it
So-
off, and I got Netflix, IP.
Yo, if
Android,
you
I
got
all of
IP
those
right
shits.
now,
You know what I
you
mean?
get everything and more than what you get now.
Dude.
I could. You want to watch fights? You're getting fights. You want to see SummerSlam? You're watching
I don't think
SummerSlam.
that's
Anything
his
you
point
want.
he was trying to get at,
I
though.
don't like really care about that. That is
No,
not.
Yo, my
just
cousin
making
put me on to
Sometimes,
that.
listen. Sometimes viewing pleasure,
I don't want
television
to.
and cable is just nice.
No,
They
listen.
can be
I have
like that.
IPTV.
I don't want to.
It is
fucking,
cable.
I don't want to pay for the
Every
conglomerate.
channel you
I don't
want.
wanna
You know
pay
what
that.
IPTV
I want the
is? That's
bootleg.
cable.
Listen,
I watch everything live.
are you gonna listen?
You're not listening. I got
I am
IPTV
listening.
is
I've
cable.
heard everything that you want to say. You're not
IP
listening to
you
me.
said you
I
had
forget
cable.
half of my motherfucking
But
points because I be
IPTV
drinking with you
hold
guys
on,
and
hold on.
smoking blunts
Hold on,
and shit. Like you're like.
no.
How's that, Robert?
I'm breaking it down for you, bro.
That's
Listen,
all right,
listen.
How's
IPTV
the
is
Rumble?
cable.
It's delicious, man. Delicious.
It's just not through the cable company, but
Okay,
it is cable.
that's
I
what I
watch
was gonna bring
everything
up
you
some
watch, I
weird
watch
stuff,
live,
like,
and anything I want.
It's
live.
one of my
That's great.
favorite.
I don't really
Favorite
care
butts as
about
well.
that. You're not understanding
Honestly,
what I have
honestly,
to
I've been
say
hanging out
to
with
you.
too many
I
white
don't-
people on a regular basis, so like this kind of mix.
Part of
First
the-
and foremost,
I don't like change, but like it's
all they
neither
do
here
is
nor there.
smoke out of bombs.
The convenience of being
I
able
feel
to
like-
just record my shit, do my shit with the television when
I
it's
feel like
there,
I
and
want
I
to talk
don't
about
use it
this on a
very
bigger level
often.
with everybody
My
engaged. It's gonna
roommate
be very
uses it way
interesting.
more than
I'm gonna
me,
go with this.
but like
I
he
got
gets
new
to watch
topic.
his sports and all kinds of stuff like that live. He gets to do all that stuff that he wants to do with the things that he watches. He wants to watch Impractical Jokers. That shit comes
Yeah.
on at a certain time.
Yeah,
It
you
takes
can
it right
do
there.
that with IPTV.
IPTV.
IPTV is the
And
exact
that-
same shit
listen.
as cable.
Listen,
You're not listening.
again, I've heard you a bunch of times. That's great,
Yes.
but I have no problems with paying for a cable service provider.
Okay,
I
there's
don't
nothing
want
wrong
to
with that. There's
There's
nothing wrong with
no-
that.
there's-
Why would you spend
I'm not knocking you.
$100 a month on
Well, you
that
can pay
shit?
$25 for the exact
I
same
know.
shit. You
I
can
agree
watch the
with
same
that.
show for live. I
Yeah,
used to have the cable, the PVR, all that shit. Boom.
he's
I
right.
watch the exact same shit. The same shit you're watching, I
Again.
watch at the same time. But half the price.
It's a
It's like
matter
you're
of
paying them to
preference.
indoctrinate you.
How am I paying?
No,
them to
listen.
indoctrinate
No.
on your IPTV.
Don't even
Oh,
get
no,
me
no.
started.
On your IPTV. On your IPTV, can you choose? Visual settings?
Yeah.
Like what?
What's
Can you just watch television in 4K anytime you want, whatever
It's
program?
already
you
Yes,
4K.
want?
it's already 4K.
already 4K.
It's tapped in HD, all that shit.
Straight up?
Yeah.
Straight up. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
It's
I don't-
cable. You ain't
I don't
tapped
even
in.
think that's
Listen.
possible.
No, you're, it's live. IPTV
IPTV
is live cable.
Without
without the cable company.
Normal TV is horse shit, bro.
No. He's not listening.
I have
Bro,
a
bro, you're not
okay,
listening.
but he doesn't understand.
He's not understanding.
what it is.
IPTV is
it's-
cable.
He's listening. He's listening.
Without the cable company.
I deal
IPTV
with
is
this
the
on a
cable
regular
company.
basis.
You
Where like
keep saying
That's
it,
why
and
I
like
don't
it's
watch
really
it.
annoying.
You're not
me,
listening, bro.
like-
But
No, you're not
no, but
understanding.
true. He is
I
listening.
totally
No, you
understand
you don't
what you're
understand,
saying.
bro.
But like
IPTV is
he
cable.
needs to see it.
It's just
he
a
needs
different
to
company.
play with it. He needs to
Mm.
be
For a
in
fraction
it
of the
in
price.
order
he
for
needs to experience it.
experience it. That's what it is. It comes
No,
down
he-
to the experience.
no,
How many
he's-
customers
no,
I used
no,
to deal with on a day-to-day
He's not
basis
listening. He
that
didn't
would
even know.
never.
He's listening, but it's
exactly
going
what
in his
you're
ear and
doing.
coming out. He didn't hear what I said. It is cable.
So two
Everything
things.
you can watch on shit, I can watch the same shit live at the exact same time.
Two
Bro,
things I want to bring
I done
back to
heard you
points
say
here.
that like
No, you're not
15 minutes ago. Yeah,
So-
I am listening.
So two things I
So
want to bring
we're-
back to points.
Go,
Okay, so
go.
first things first, we were all going about the viewership and all that kind of stuff. There's an episode in Orville that they actually do an entire world that is governed by likes and dislikes.
Yes.
Which is beautiful because that is exactly how we
Dude,
live into this
It is
society.
fucking
It is
insane.
disgusting. You accidentally
see-
bump a person, you say sorry, but you would go to me and press my dislike counter.
Everybody
right? And then
dislikes
when
you.
you get to a point
And you
where
know-
you're at a
And
certain,
you know where that's gonna lead?
that's
You know where that's gonna lead?
where.
You know what's going on in China right now?
No, what's going on?
You can't keep doing that.
Yo, in China right now, they have a social credit system.
Mhm.
And
Whoever uses the washroom, you go and
anywhere
fix the
you
toilet.
go, you're on camera.
Fix the toilet.
And if
I
you
lived-
do
I
things
got-
that are
Who went to the
deemed
washroom?
be
Lift
socially
the fucking thing up.
undesirable, your social credit score goes down. And when your social credit score goes below a certain number, guess what? You can't get a plane ticket. You can't get a train ticket. You can't get a hotel. You can't rent a fucking car. You can't go on. You can't use their version of fucking Tinder. And you know what's happening here right now? It's the same fucking thing. The only difference between the two is that over here it's happening with tech companies as proxies versus over there where it's the government.
Yeah,
So,
because it is a communist country, right? So.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not really that different.
Wow.
Over here it's Facebook and Twitter and so on, and Google that are monitoring everything that we're doing as a proxy for the government here. And when I say here, I mean in all Western countries.
Yeah.
And the United States.
Yep.
And so on. It's the same fucking thing.
That's crazy,
And the
man.
same tech that they're
Aren't you
using
glad you
there,
came?
I love it.
the same- the
It's
same
awesome.
tech that they're using
Because
there
again,
to monitor, they're selling.
Knights with the Black Table.
Nobody
They're
knows.
selling and exporting.
I'm not sold on that yet, so
Yeah.
I don't know why you're saying that.
Because
I'm not sold on that.
King Arthur ain't got nothing around us. You feel me?
Knights with the Black Table.
Damn.
That's how we roll.
Well, it's not a complete black table.
So
No one asked you.
All races.
just to continue, just
All
to finish,
races.
There's black people at the table.
just to
And
You are
brown people.
you outnumbered right now. You are outnumbered. You do not get to say any of that shit right now.
So just to quickly close my point, in this episode, if you get to a certain point of dislikes, you go on a campaign where it's a publicity run.
Mhm.
And your publicity run is to basically help boost your likes so you don't get your mind wiped,
Yeah.
right? Which is crazy.
Bro,
He didn't say a show.
I watched that
It's not a Netflix
episode.
show, but it's
I watched that episode. It blew my fucking
Right?
mind.
right?
Because it was fucking on point.
On point, completely on point. There's another episode that they talk about with there's a guy who's his race is made up of men,
Yeah.
right? And
That
they
have babies.
that have babies, right? But his baby comes out a woman, right? A girl. They have to basically do a sex change, and it's part of an entire ritual that is designed in their world to change her back to a man, right? And the whole episode has a bunch of underlying tones in regards to Muslim in Islam.
But it
Islam
actually,
and everything.
but
But
see,
it also has
that's
the gay,
Africa.
right?
That's Africa
Yeah.
because women get their fucking clits cut out.
Yes, that too. That was another thing. Yeah.
and that's the reason why I was sitting there going, Orville is so progressive.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of Star Trek to begin with. It's
Yeah.
talking about what's going on in the world. Romulans versus the Vulcans. We were actually talking about changelings. Like I was talking to him about it. He's like, we can't have this conversation, bro. I'm not about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel you. For me, that is the utopia that I want to live in. I
Yeah.
want to live in the Star Trek utopia.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense.
Oh man, totally.
Where you're sitting there and it would save people on the whole, you want to know what your life design is.
Yeah.
So here is the Confederation. The Confederation is literally giving you an opportunity to decide what you want to be. You want to be an engineer? Hey, sign up. That's all you got to do. And if you can,
Sorry?
if you have the ability to
Got
do
really
that,
nerdy really quick.
if you have the ability to do that, you go that way. You want to be a teacher of dance? You can be a teacher of dance. There is nothing stopping you besides you.
Mhm.
I agree with
And
you.
that is a great utopia to be in, where people are lost and being like, I don't know where to go. Well, here, we have this whole entire list of things you can choose. And whether or not you're good or not, nobody gives a flying fuck.
Yeah.
And they literally turn around, that's not for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be a farmer.
That's beautiful.
You don't want to be a farmer? Hey, you're going to be a musician. You want to be a bartender? You move where you go and you fit. And you're on this starship.
That's beautiful.
And you have the levels.
Mhm.
So you have the levels in ranking. And I want to be in that utopia where I can just be me. There's no, it doesn't
Oh
matter
my
what
God.
culture I'm
Yeah,
from.
dude, right?
Doesn't
I look
matter
horrible
what,
right now.
what I'm
It's
into.
all love.
You'll
Right here.
always find a way to be
Super horrible right now.
And that's the hardest thing in the world that we live in, where
Yeah, show you
people
guys at work.
go into war. You went to jail. Nobody wants to hire you. Let me go and become a fucking Marine. Let me become a sailor. Let me be Navy. Let me go and do. you go into that, and the thing is, it could be the best thing that ever happened to you or the worst thing that ever happened to you. But there's nothing outside of that. General labor. General labor used to be that thing where you don't know what you want to be. Here's a general labor job. You go to the Coke factory and you work your fucking ass off. And you get paid a decent wage. And as you go through, if you're smart enough to take on quickly, you move up and you keep going. Give me the Confederation. Give me that. I want to be that. I want to go there because I want to be in a situation where
I mean, I feel you. I get where I was trying to figure out where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So like, I get what you're saying, but like, honestly, unless like aliens attack or some fucking shit like that, like the world is not gonna get to a point in our lifetime, and probably not the next one.
Well, they're slowly coming together when it comes to climate change and all that, man. People like there's a lot of countries into that.
You can say whatever you want to say about whatever.
People will never.
Yeah, but you're talking about how can humanity come together. That's one aspect of people.
No, look, if we're going to venture out and do all of this stuff to make sure that everybody is good, because nobody has that. Nobody is talking about how everybody needs to be good. If you're talking about climate change, then that's one thing. But people have self-interest in all of that. All of these politicians, all of these people that run these fucking countries have self-interest in the world not being fucked over by climate change.
That's true, though. But you remember the people are the ones that have the voice, and if as long as there's numbers,
people don't have the voice anymore.
Really think that we have
people
a
don't
voice?
have the voice anymore.
But you do have some advocates out there that actually do it because it's in their heart. Like Leo DiCaprio, for example. He does it because he truly believes it.
Yeah, but then you can say the same thing for Ashton Kutcher and children being sold into sex slaves. The thing about it is that we live in a time where there's a lot of people picking up a lot of signs and saying, this is what I want to do.
I don't know what it is.
And this is what I want to protect.
So in a sense, going with your dream, we're kind of moving in the whole Confederation aspect because if you think about it, right, because you have Ashton Kutcher, I want to defend, people that are going into sex slavery, right? You have Leo DiCaprio, I want to defend the earth, right? Even, actually, y'all remember the Earth? Have you guys ever heard the Earth song with Lil Dicky?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, even Lil Dicky, he's coming in, like, he's coming, you do that kind of stuff, right? And it's great to see that.
But the reality of the world
is
nobody likes the concept.
No.
Because now you're making me say, oh shit, I have to look at what I do on a daily basis. And if I have to deal with on a daily basis what I want to do or how it's going to be done, I have to be watched.
But going with you're saying, if you guys watch the
percentage
Leo...
of people that actually, sorry,
no, it's
I'm
okay.
going to cut you off. Like the percentage of people that drive electric cars.
Yeah.
And I think it's dope. Like when you really think about it, I think it's dope. It's like, yeah, you can get this many miles off of an electric car. You just charge that shit up. People aren't fucking burning gas and emissions and all this nice stuff. It's good. It's good. At the same time, how many people are really trying to do that?
Well, in the beginning, there was a lot.
And like,
there were, yeah.
Because the government was going to give you a rebate of, let's say if your car costs $50,000, they're going to give you $15,000
are you talking
back.
in Canada, though?
Yeah, it was in Canada.
Yeah. See, but that's just here.
True.
Think about
It's not just here. It's other countries
Hold
too.
on. What I'm saying is that not everybody is on a united front when it comes to interest.
Oh, well, hold on. The reason why I can disagree with you, when that came out, there was going to be a rebate. It was about $200,000, 200,000 orders on these cars because people wanted to kind of jump on board with that.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's in North America.
But
how many people live in Canada, bro?
To add to what he's saying, it also depends on the demographic that would jump into that, right? Like, not to say, not to bring this really too much into conversation because I know we can go on for days on it, but you have your wealthy class, right? And you have everybody else.
Like any of us right now
and
are
the wealthy class
you or him in a position where we can say to ourselves, oh, well, you know what? I'm going electric.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably, maybe him. I don't know his full situation. But there's just us.
But in this scenario, though, I feel like you're not going to be looking at a tax break versus the wealthy class when they're looking at a tax break. Like, cha-ching, I can save because I've already put this much of my RSPs and blah, blah, blah. I can save money now. Let me get some money back, right? And that's the downside to that. But in retrospect to what you were saying, where you're talking about how nobody wants to fully change what they do and everything like that. If you watch the Leo DiCaprio insert, like that whole special that he does on it, he says there's really one small thing you can change because on a big scale, we don't have the money to put forth to help with what this kind of cause can be, right? But on a small change, he's like,
I don't understand.
It's because we're in debt.
I don't understand that either. It's total insanity.
Yeah, it's because
When you think about it, when
Yeah.
you break all that shit
Yeah.
down, it's like it doesn't matter how much money we're handing around to this person or that person.
100% it does.
No, again, that's why there's a problem.
Yeah.
If you're gonna die too, if you're great, like you can have your oil company or whatever the fuck it is, and you're a tycoon and you're worth fucking tens of billions of dollars or some bullshit like that. You're getting paid this amount of money every single year to be able to provide whatever you provide to the world. But at the same time, what you're providing to the world is taking away from said world. So these guys are telling you over here that like, yo, we can use your shit, but we can't use your shit the way that we've been using your shit. We have to figure out a different way to use your shit.
Mhm.
We're gonna try and do this over here. This guy's not gonna be like, all right, yeah, cool, let's just
No,
do that.
because yo, Anthony,
This is why
What
money
was
is a
that?
fucking
Yo,
problem. Do
what-
you understand what I'm saying?
there's
Like, this
a
is why
movie
money's
that
a
you
problem.
guys
Like,
need to watch. What was that fucking movie that you made me watch about the aliens, the devil? The devil dude showed up to the planet and he goes, "I could save you all, but you have to do this." What was the movie called?
That's childhood's end.
Yo, watch Childhood Ends. You watch that movie, it will fucking destroy you.
yeah,
It will destroy you. This dude came to the earth and literally said, "We are aliens. And this is what's going to happen." And he took away the global fucking power and made it, I can cure illness, I can cure death.
like all of these things.
And hold on a sec. And when he turned around and he showed his true face, you saw the devil.
It looked like what we depict as.
The devil.
Watch
Really-
this
really
movie.
At the end of the day, it was just a species that looks like that. And what we know or what humans know today as what the devil looks like is just folklore.
What they designed it to be like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Think about it though. How much folklore is there? On
Do we believe it?
Tons.
It's all bullshit.
millions.
There's folklore,
Vampires,
there's folklore about
zombies.
vampires,
There's tons.
werewolves.
Yeah.
There's
Do you know what
folklore about
real zombies are?
Atlantis. You know what?
Sort of.
There's even
There's a
folklore about civilizations that existed that were as much or more technologically advanced as people are now today, that existed in history, not only on Earth, but on Mars. And now they're finding that there are signs that there was water on Mars.
yes. I remember seeing that.
I didn't know about
I
that.
seen that.
Okay. Never mind.
He's like, this is gonna be a deep combo if he goes into it.
What's it about?
Yeah. Just to quickly close my
I
point with
think
the
you're
Leo
just doing it
DiCaprio
on
thing.
purpose. Honestly, I think you just do it on purpose.
It's still good because you hear the voice coming in, right? And it's not too bad when you hear that like off camera because everyone's like, who is that guy? You know, like,
All right.
and eventually you'll replace
The
him by
voice
like,
of reason.
right? Yeah.
The voice
Is that
of
Where
reason.
were
God?
you at?
Is that God?
Where were you at? I'm
What was
wondering
that?
where you were at.
I was at a wedding.
A wedding.
Lewis got married.
I know. I didn't know that was today.
Yeah, it was there, man.
Was it nice?
It was nice, but it was dying out, so I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I left
Open bar?
completely. It was fun.
You guys are old.
It's kind of old.
What? What's the problem? Did you save your game?
I did. I was gonna say the game.
So quickly to close my point out with the whole Leo DiCaprio rant that was going on. He in the movie he talks about what produces more methane gas, right? And he's talking to this farmer, and the farmer explains that a cow produces like, let's say like in my square it's like this much, right? And then you have like a chicken that's like this much, and then a plant that's like that much, right? So he's like, honestly, I don't expect you guys to be able to sit there and throw because you don't have if you're a normal person who doesn't have the money to be able to throw at this. You know, I'm a millionaire, I'm an actor, I can put money into this foundation. For you, just change your diet. Just change your diet from this to this. That would help tremendously. You're doing a huge part and it's already in the things you do day to day, right? Don't go out of your way to purchase chips and stuff like that, right? Because the bags itself, they produce like it's caused for when they get broken down, it's methane gas. If don't bring steak into the house versus if you're going out, then buy it there. Because obviously they already have it cut ready to go at a restaurant, right? It's not that much of a deal versus you bringing it home, going to your local grocer and bringing it that kind of stuff, right? So myself, I've changed. Like I used to, the tacos, for example, I go ground chicken all the time now, right? And it actually ends up being a little bit cheaper, right?
I do turkey.
Right. So even that's a little more expensive, but even then, it still produces pretty much the same methane gas as a piece of or a thing of chicken does, or one little chicken does, right? So like things like that small little dynamic in regards to the whole global warming thing, right? That is how we can be a united front on that aspect.
But
right?
the thing that comes down to it is
Yeah.
that and I was having the same conversation with my mom and my sister today,
Yeah.
and I sat there going, we live in a society today that doesn't take to give.
Yes.
Anthony can attest to it. RJ can attest to it.
Mm,
You
man.
come to my house, I'm going to give you the food that I have.
Which is like that's what you
Which
should have.
most people today are like,
No.
I'll call you. I'll call you. Not going to call you. I'll feed them. But if you come to my house, I'll feed everybody in this room.
Mhm.
Every single thing that I have in my freezer, I'm going to give to all of you because one thing my grandmother taught my mother and her children is everybody needs to eat. She
Yeah.
already had 13 children and always had food for anybody that came by. But you have the other people that'll sit there and go, "Hey, bye, go get some food." But don't have the food.
You already know.
Hey, you go over there,
That's so
man.
true, actually.
Because
It is.
and
It's
for
sad, but
us, and
it's how we are.
the great thing
Social
for us being
dynamics have changed
Guyanese,
so
we
much
can
in the last
honestly
20 years,
sit
man.
there and say that and be like, "Yo,
But-
there's some covetous,
yeah.
covetous people,
But
covetous."
But I could say on a different level though, on a little small contradictory note too. That's also the cost of living and cost of groceries and stuff like that too, right?
But look, here's my
Right, 'cause that
grandmother.
does, like,
Here's my
You have
grandmother.
a kid, right?
Not about the cost.
No, okay, I wasn't sure. You have kids, so you have what? 1, 2,
Or
4. Damn. Damn. Okay. Well, like I have one son, right? And just even me, right, with the way the rent, for example, has been going up, they haven't found a way to regulate it. But your minimum wage isn't going up. But when it does go up, everything else goes up. On top of that, your rent is already doubled in regards to what you started it after 4 years of living there, right? And you get to a point where you're like, okay, cool. I can spend $50 and I got a meal plan for like 4 days because I can't just feed my entire family like I would love to. Like I can't just buy one big old turkey and throw it in the oven and be good to go and stuff like that because I gotta work, so I can't check on that turkey to even make that turkey versus what it was before, right? So it gets to a point where, you know, us younger folk, right, the older folk, like you said, your grandma, she was able to feed 13 and more, right? Feeding 13 and more, maybe at that time would have been a bit easier in regards to finding the food necessary.
She never stopped. She never stopped.
Yeah.
She always. The thing about it is, she was always.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like to go buy,
It wasn't easy.
for example, you're buying your Heineken. How much your Heineken cost you?
$14.
$14, right? And that was what, 6-pack, right? Now, 20 years ago, that Heineken probably would have been
$7.
$7.
okay, but
Right?
it's not. Look, it's not even just that. It
Yeah,
depends.
Yeah.
Yo,
$9. Yeah.
It depends.
Maybe
on,
$9.
It depends on where
You
you're
know
at.
why
That's
that
the same
happens?
shit though.
Do you?
Voice of reason?
No, I'm asking you.
No, I know.
I can
I
tell
just.
you, and I'm not going to.
Sorry?
I can tell you why that happens, but I'm not going to. But I'm asking you if you know.
I don't know, actually. I actually just like the fact that you're not on camera. That's why I said voice of reason, so say it. This is great. It adds like a different dynamic to the show. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
No.
Share the cigarette.
Look it up.
Okay, I'll check it out later. But yeah, I know some aspect to it. Like for example, like with the
This is
it's
dope
just
show.
people are there's a lot of laws and bylaws that are in place that
I love.
I say it again.
Look, I love you to death because you're so unruly about it.
Yeah,
but
I
at
know.
the same time,
I say it
was like,
again. Just another add-in.
What?
Lights at the black table.
That's totally black though.
I already
Be all
told you,
different
you're
shades of
out
black,
there.
bro.
Get over it.
All different shades of black.
He's wearing a black shirt.
All right.
There you go. Right.
No, but this is the
There's
thing.
one
This is the
word.
thing where we
One
live in.
word of why that happened is, and it starts with an I,
Inflation.
Inflation. Yeah.
and that spirals off into many other things.
Yeah. But it just sucks. Like on a personal level, like this is just
Even into types of government,
Yeah.
so on and so forth, and the things that people think in their head and so on.
yeah.
Look, I don't know how everybody else wants to view this stuff. I just understand because I've traveled around our nice country a lot
It's very
that
nice.
like It depends on where you're at.
I can agree with that too.
It really depends
Yes.
on where you're at. I had a conversation with my Lyft driver. This guy sent me a text message. He's like, "Oh, I'm here," and it was in French. And I was like, "Oh shit." So I get into the car and I see the number and I know the area code is fucking Montreal. So I start talking to the dude. He
Perfect.
starts talking to me in French and I was like, "Whoa, slow down. Like I can only understand every other word. It's been a while. Like relax."
Mhm.
And we're talking about like rents and just here versus there.
Yep.
Right? And he's like agreeing with me on the fact that out here, like I should not be paying. I said $1,200 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
This man can't counter me, and he was like a junior 1-bedroom apartment, and I couldn't disagree because he's right,
Yeah.
and that's fucking stupid.
It is.
You gotta,
Hold up,
you gotta
hold up.
remember something.
Oh!
Hold
I
up.
would agree with him on this
Hold
one. I
up.
got some more points to
Hold
throw in there if he hasn't
Hold
said
up.
it yet.
Because
I lived in Montreal and
if you
I'm
go
from
out to
Montreal,
for the exact same shit, like
Yeah.
this shit we're in right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
What Ray pays, like we could get that out there
Yeah.
for even less
Yeah.
potentially.
But what you're missing here is the fact that this is the Mecca
You ain't missing
of
shit.
Canada.
Uh,
Hold on. Shut your face, motherfucker.
like
Hold up a
Right?
second. Hold up a second.
tag me in, bro.
Right?
Hold
Tag
on.
me in.
I'm like
Tag
totally
me
down
in.
for it. Like you
This
can
is
jump
good.
it. No, because like, I don't.
No, but it's
Okay,
like
okay.
it's
Go.
like New York City.
Yep.
New York City is that one of the most highest paid
Mhm.
places to live. If you're living in Manhattan, your fucking skyscrapers are fucking $20 million to live in.
That's fair.
Why?
Okay.
Because that's where majority of the money comes
But
in.
Hamilton ain't no Mecca.
But this for you,
No.
for you,
But it is.
but you don't see
You know what
that.
I mean? Like,
You don't
I
understand.
get Toronto. I
No,
get Toronto.
But you don't understand.
No,
I
you
get
don't
Toronto.
understand.
And
You
here's-
don't understand. This is New York State. In
Ah,
New York
hold up,
State
hold up.
versus
No,
New
man.
York
No,
City.
because I can go live
Do
in
you know-
Rochester versus New York
do you
State.
know
And Rochester
the
will be
difference between
cheaper than New York.
The difference between Rochester and New York State,
Yeah.
that is the whole point.
Well, Hamilton's cheaper than Toronto. It's the same shit.
Because
It's
when
Not
you
by
get to the
much
city,
now,
though.
when you get to the
It's
city,
changing.
now.
It's getting
Oh, yeah.
there, man.
when you get to the
Think
city,
about it. If he moved out of
What's
here, his apartment, he got another one up here, he could be paying almost
Yeah.
$200 for it.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Here's
I know, I
It's
know.
changing.
He has a
It's
you have a
inflated.
2-bedroom, right?
One bedroom.
Is it 1 bedroom?
You're gonna do like the army.
Everything's expensive more. Depending how long you live here, you're paying like $500 more if you wanted to move upstairs.
For real, man.
Yeah,
What's the
I mean-
stupidness about it?
Yo, cousin.
yo,
Voice of reason. Pleasure meeting you. Thank you, sir.
yo, next
I'm
weekend.
not only
Yes,
the
sir.
voice of reason, I'm also the voice of irrationality.
This is true. Hey, you heard it.
Yo. Next weekend, man.
So like, so to add more to his Montreal
Are you
thing
here or are you not?
Yeah.
versus us here in Ontario, right?
Hold on,
You-
hold on.
Yeah.
Because it's Thanksgiving weekend, so
That doesn't mean following. It's Thanksgiving weekend.
Thanks, taking.
That was the weekend that this country was stolen.
Oh my God, we're not doing this right now. We're not doing this right now.
It's not right
We're not doing this right now.
Yo.
God.
next weekend we're gonna do it up because I'm off for the weekend. I gotta work Sunday,
Oh
but
my god.
Friday night
We're
we're gonna
legit not
fucking do it
doing
up.
this right now.
If I'm here.
Yes,
Why not?
if you're here, if you're not here,
Yeah, man.
we gonna work it out.
All right, cool.
Go ahead.
So
All
like,
right, man.
so just to kind of go on the whole tangent we were talking about, right? So did you guys know that in Montreal, in Quebec, most Montreal residents, you do not have to pay first and last month's rent.
Yes.
Right.
Did you know
Yeah,
that
you just
if-
got to show up,
if
pay your
you
first
had a
month.
hold on.
Yeah, go.
If you had a disability,
Yep.
they will pay for you to get a sex worker to facilitate your needs.
Damn.
So you know how we
Where
have
did you
that
go?
whole idea with
You
the
go to
last month's
school.
rent to clean up the
You wanna
apartment,
go to
leave that kind of
school?
shit.
I pay for you to
We
go
in
to
Quebec,
school.
you don't have to worry about it. That is up to the landlord. Period.
Quebec's like a different
You
country,
can
so-
literally get the fuck
It's the
out
same country,
day
but it's like
30.
different country.
See ya.
The laws and all
Right?
that
You
bullshit.
don't have to worry about anything.
That's
Right?
nice.
That's one thing I find different there. Hydro is like a third of what we pay over here. Right? The only thing you pay a little extra for is meats because they have to import it onto the island, right? When you're in Montreal like area, right? But for the most part, almost everything down there generally is a little bit cheaper.
Yo,
Right?
you want to order
Which is
pizza?
insane.
Okay.
It's-
Not only that, hold on. It's not even just that. Like we were talking about community.
Mhm.
We were talking about just diversity. We were
Yep.
talking about restaurants and being able to eat.
Oh my God.
Grown food at a place as opposed to being out here in Ontario. Like
Oh.
you'll find fucking a pizza store on every other fucking block out here. If you go out to Montreal, depending on what part of the island you're on,
Mhm.
like if you're
Mhm.
near downtown in Burgundy or something like that, there is a West Indian store. Like think about here. How many West Indian stores are there for you to go and get something to eat?
Yeah.
Like 4, 5?
No, there's
Bro.
more than that.
There's nothing.
In Hamilton?
No,
In
there's
Ham-
enough now.
How many?
There's
Count
more
those.
than-
Like,
Ten.
literally.
Do be
At least
told.
10. At least 10.
10?
To
I
be
can
honest.
tell you that there's like fucking 10 on like 2 strips
Okay,
of
yeah,
fucking one block
yeah,
in
that's what-
fucking Burgundy, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
shit.
what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah, but if you're talking about downtown Toronto, it's different.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. That's true. Downtown Toronto would be more like.
Hamilton's
Sure.
a smaller city, right?
But what he's saying right there, talking about the culture,
Mhm.
right? How many times have y'all grown up in a club, you accidentally step on a dude's shoe, they ready to start beefing with you?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah.
back in the day,
Right?
that's how it
This is
was.
Hamilton.
Right?
I can
Right?
understand that,
This is
It
Hamilton.
used to be like
Yeah,
that.
because
back
Hamilton,
in the
right?
day.
Hamilton.
That's Hamilton. That's Toronto, right?
Different now.
Montreal, that happens. They go, "Hey, you good? You good? Okay, yeah, let's have a dance. Let's go have a drink."
No, that's now.
No, that's how it's always been. I went to a
been.
club down there when I was like 19, 20, okay? And I had a full out dance battle against a dude. Because, like, first off, when was the last time you seen a dance battle in a club?
I ain't never seen dance battle.
Yeah,
Why?
that's
Because
probably
everyone's trying to
60
shoot
years.
each other.
It depends on where you. No, it
But
depends
everyone's
on,
trying to stab
it
each
depends
other.
on who you're with.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Honestly,
No,
I have
wait
a
a
lot of
minute.
different
But wait,
dances.
But yeah, that's with your friends, though. That's with your friends.
True.
That's with your friends. I can't-
Thing.
If I just saw this guy at a club and he's doing a whole crazy breakdance battle and everything like that, and I came up and started battling him, and let's just say it was in Toronto or if it was Hamilton,
Yeah,
right? This was happening. If I beat him, I get beat outside the club.
Potentially.
No.
But it's not like that as much anymore.
Still,
If somebody like myself was like, "Yo, you won," I
because you're
respect you.
mature enough for that, though.
Yeah, but I always been that dude.
Yeah.
So in the end,
There's
Mhm.
always
I would
dudes
be
like
the
that
guy.
out there.
I'd
But
be
you
the guy to
gotta-
be like, "Yo, you're safe." That dude wants to come and fuck with you. He's got to deal with me, and he
Yeah.
already knows who I am. So that's dead.
But what I'm trying
I
to say is the
understand what
culture
you're
out
trying to
there
say.
is a lot more lax
It's
in that
lax.
sense of
It
it.
is more lax.
They're more forgiving. They're more like I went to a New Year's Eve party a few years back out there, right? A New Year's Eve
You
party.
got New Year's
Yo,
Eve?
man, Montreal, man, it was wild.
Woo!
Tell me, guys, what was the tell me, have you guys ever been on a New Year's Eve to a club? How much was the ticket?
Ridiculous.
Right? Probably like what?
Ridiculous.
$20?
Over
20
20.
bucks.
$200.
But depending where you went, yeah.
Probably like
Expensive.
I would say would it
Right,
be fair to
right.
say would it be fair to say
60
anywhere
bucks,
from 60
$80
and up?
bucks.
For $200 in Montreal, you can drink till fucking 4 a.m. for free while fucking having some hors d'oeuvres, fuck crazy music, 6 floors and
No
shit.
joke.
Y'all
No
don't even know, bro.
I
It's
paid $40 for a ticket.
No,
40
it's
bucks for a
not.
ticket for
Bro,
this
when we're talking like
New
New
Year's
Year's Eve, like an event like that
No
in
joke.
Montreal, every
Everywhere.
club has their
everywhere.
thing. Even the smaller clubs that don't normally do those types of things are like hotel like lounges and rooms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You know, the Fairmont does their thing and shit like that. Like they will shut it down for New Year's and have a fucking whole deal package
man.
set up for you.
They
You can
love
pay
to
for
party.
mad people.
They
to
love
fucking
to
go to
party.
a party out there and do their fucking
Right?
thing for New. Bro, it's a different thing.
And-
I've been telling you.
Yeah, man.
I've been telling
Yo,
you.
and yo,
You
first
know
off
what
down
events,
there, the
bro?
girls
What's up?
don't give a fuck. They see a thing up in there, they see a good looking Spanish dude and everything, they be like, winding up on that boy. They just don't
The
care.
moment that you
I
say
met
you're
some
from
girls out
Ontario,
there, you
what? You're from Toronto? Yeah.
right? Boom. Boom. Right? That's it. Right? I was there in Toronto and I remember meeting up with these 2 chicks. I'm just like dancing with them and stuff like that. And I'm like, in Montreal, and I'm sitting, I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
Mhm.
Right?
Bro.
This doesn't happen in Hamilton.
In my phone,
This doesn't happen in
there
Toronto.
are like 6 names that are like either just a letter or I don't know her name
Right?
in some form because I was too drunk to be able to actually write in.
Right?
I don't know her name. Like one is like LKON. Don't know. Like I don't know her name.
Yeah.
Okay, 100%. 100%.
I went to this one place in Montreal called Apartment 200.
Shit, I'm
right?
talking
Paid-
too much shit. Y'all ain't supposed to know that shit.
Paid $40 for a ticket to get there.
It ain't my fault.
And I do that. Uh-oh.
We gotta get this motherfucker on the show more times.
But
You-
no.
you-
So I'm at
you
this
know
party.
definitely.
It's $40 to get in. Me and my boys went there. I went with my younger brother, right? And my younger brother, he knows how to fucking party, right? He had a friend out there that he's going to fucking McGill, right? So we stayed at his place, which is literally up the street from
St.
McGill, right?
Catherine's?
It was
Yeah.
perfect, right? So we go to it wasn't Crest. I think it was Lawrence. I think it was Saint Laurent.
Saint Laurent.
Lawrence Street, St. Laurent
Saint
Street,
Laurent.
right? And that boulevard is like you have 2 different sections. You have pretty much pubs, which is like Crescent Street, have a couple clubs on there, and then you have St. Lawrence, which is generally the younger hip hop like
Can you grab me
like
a
club
Yes,
district,
sir.
a serious club
We
district,
not
right?
getting pizza?
So we go down there.
Hold on.
and I paid $40. I have the time of my life. The first night I went in, I didn't even pay to cover. How many places in freaking Toronto and Hamilton do you pay for cover just to get into a damn club now?
100%.
It's stupid, right? The first time I went there we went there on the Friday, the day before New Year's, and we went there and it was just freaking, we got it for free. They never paid a damn freaking dime to get in. And I was having a blast. But the New Year's night, I paid $40. They gave us a bottle of champagne to pop at the end of the fucking night. So I'm like,
Oh, that's
cover
all shit. All that shit's
and-
complimentary.
and
Out
complimentary.
here,
I was like,
they'll
what
hand you
is
some
this?
little ass fucking Dixie
Yep,
cup
yep.
with a little glass of champagne
Honestly,
and be like, "Oh yeah, Happy New Year
They
for everybody."
party
at
out
12
there, and you
o'clock."
think about it
Out
too.
there, they'll hand you the bottle, bro. I'm telling you, for $200 a
Yep.
person, or even less than that, for like maybe $150 a
No,
person.
man.
If you have 6 people or more, you could have the wildest fucking night of your
They
life. and
cater
what's
to
that?
you. They cater to
The
you. They see
wild-
you.
You're bad though, because I wish it was like that all the fucking time.
It should be.
Like go to a club for Everless and you pay for a bottle of like $300, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I find that ridiculous.
That's out here though, bro.
No, but when you go to Toronto, you got to remember it's a New York setting.
Yeah.
It's a New York,
And that's
setting.
that's
'Cause
exactly
when
you
you're
get that.
in
Yeah.
New York,
It's double.
you have to have money,
Mhm.
and when you have money, you got to remember these people are living in fucking. Just imagine you have an apartment that's worth $20 million.
Yeah.
$20 million, but you have $300 million.
That's
I
crazy.
understand that because I seen an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment out there. They were selling it for $5 million. I'm like, for 1 bedroom.
One bedroom.
And I find that ludicrous, man, when it comes down to it. And it's not even the greatest neighborhood either.
Honestly, nowadays, what I've been seeing with Toronto people, they've been actually getting their apartments or like leasing their or whatever, like buying a condo, whatever, whatnot. 1 bedroom or maybe even 2 bedroom, and
No,
they are
rent it out.
doing Airbnbs.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah,
nobody
everybody
rents.
rents it.
Right?
That's
To just to make up the cost. They
Yeah,
may stay in there for a couple days at most,
Mhm.
but the rest is all Airbnb for the rest of the week because it's the smartest thing to do. It's the easiest way to make money.
Because you got
Right.
people coming in all over
All-
the fucking
Yeah.
world.
Exactly, right?
And Hamilton used to be that place
Yeah.
where people were coming. People don't understand it.
Hamilton
Hess Village
was a hub.
was a hub for the
That's
internet.
back in the day, and that was only
People
for a
knew
minute.
Hess Village from the internet.
We had a minute,
Dude,
bro.
I was
Yep.
there. Buddy, people were coming from fucking Switzerland, coming from all. I met so many
Too
people from
small and
all
too
over
many
the
drug
world.
addicts. That's
Yeah,
what,
man.
that's
And
what
it
did
died.
Hamilton in, you know what I mean?
It died.
It's going to be sold soon. I told you guys that. Like, there's the major corporations in Toronto that are going to buy out the property there, all the buildings, and build condos and make somewhat clubs on the main floor. Kind of keep that vibe alive, but they're just trying to capitalize on
It'll
that.
never happen.
No, it's happening.
Never happen.
Oh, dude, it's
I can
happening.
see that
I'll
happening,
tell you.
dude.
Let me
It's
tell you
happening.
something. It'll never happen. Because I'll tell you this.
I'll
much.
tell you why. Hey,
And I'll tell you why.
we'll
it
talk
won't
in
happen.
5 years.
And I'll tell you why. In 5 years, and I'll tell you why. The thing about Hamilton, you can't make a fucking Toronto in Hamilton.
No.
There's the beef between the two of us. The beef between the two of us is fucking thicker than fucking blood.
They tried that.
That's
But-
changing now.
and I'll
No
tell you,
one
it's
is
not
built in
changing.
Toronto, so they're
Because
shifting
when you
over
go-
to
Because
West.
when you go to Hamilton, there is no Hess. Hess is dead.
Off the rails,
For
bro.
the kids.
Is dead.
True.
The
You
kids.
remember
So
the
my-
last time we went there? Sorry, please go ahead.
My question to this, to contradict him, kind of trying to jump on his side a little bit though. Let's say 10 years ago. How many hotels did we have in Hamilton?
Yeah.
Probably the same amount we have right now.
Nope.
We have more,
We have
now.
3 more hotels that have popped up in
Three
the
more?
downtown
Which
core.
ones?
and
Three more?
that's all.
3
mine.
more.
No,
You have
no.
Staybridge,
It's all mine.
Holiday Inn,
Staybridge.
Staybridge, Holiday, and
Where's
there's
Holiday?
Staybridge, and then there's one like there. You have the Staybridge on this side, and you have another
No, the
one over
Holiday,
there.
Holiday's
That's the
always been
Hilton
there.
shit.
Hilton,
right?
thank you. Sorry, Hilton. I said Hilton. I meant to say Hilton. Sorry.
Yeah, but there's one
So-
already on Bay. What is it? On Bay Street? Or
Yeah, right there. I'm Bay, right there. That's the
Yeah,
Yeah,
Holiday.
so that's the Staybridge, I think. No, Staybridge's on Catherine.
No, you're right. You're right.
Staybridge's
You're
on Catherine.
You're right.
They have
right?
the 2 new ones.
And then Bay Street has one, right? And then right across from the A&W, what's that going to be?
That's
No, that's a condo.
no. Those are hotels.
You know,
But
it's
it-
a
No,
They-
that's condos.
Hotel or condo,
No,
either
It's
way.
a- no, it's
But
condos.
you know
Either
the
way.
hotel
I'll tell you why
on
they're
Main
condos.
Street and by Hess Village, that's like a really run-down hotel.
Yep.
That's being bought out.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Ambassador Inn it used to
Yeah.
be, I think it was.
Yeah, and there's going to be a new condo being built, the City View condos going up by, the old
No, it's not.
CHCH.
It's not, because there's like
place
there's
that's being
about
bought out.
2-3
But
hotels that
that's-
shut it down.
'Cause
They
I-
just
I
built
get all
new
these emails,
improved
man.
ones.
No, but these are the bigger ones.
I
These are
don't know.
the
those are
franchise,
those are
right?
franchises.
And that's the issue. The
I
fact
don't
that you have
even
these
say that.
franchises coming in
That's
versus the
happening, man.
small ones,
Mm.
that's a problem.
It's happening.
Right, because you're saying that we don't want to be like Toronto. That's a way to be like Toronto.
No,
Where
no,
first
no.
you get the
No,
first you
that's-
get you get the tourists in,
That's not
and because of the
everywhere.
tourists,
Mhm.
we start building up from that. Right,
It's not everywhere.
it's not
Not
everywhere.
everywhere, but it's
But once,
franchise.
but
Franchise
that's
been
once you
taken
get those
over.
franchises
That's
in,
the way of the
we're
world.
done. Right, we're starting to get that.
Franchise is the way of the world.
I get
The
that.
mom
I
and pops is gone.
get that.
Little
You wanna,
hotels,
like,
if
go
you have one,
halves
you've
on
been there.
it?
Okay, gonna
get
get
that.
but
But when you get
We're not
smaller
gonna do it,
companies
yeah.
being bought out, when you got these mom and
That's how it
pop
goes,
shops
though.
and stuff like that
the
being
small
destroyed.
companies get bought out by the big companies and every
Yeah,
facet
but
of
that's-
life.
But what we're trying to
Other
discuss in that scenario is that we do not want to be like Toronto.
No,
we
you're
wanna
not-
bring-
No, you're not. That's not
It
being
won't
Toronto.
be like
That's the
Toronto,
way of the
but it's
world.
gonna be
That's
very
life.
similar to
Exactly.
Toronto.
And
Yeah.
we don't want to. We
that's-
don't want.
that's
We
the
don't want
way
to
of
have
the
that.
world,
But we don't want to have.
Toronto was just more advanced. They were the first to the first
It
to
has
get a
nothing
ticket.
to do with the well being advanced or anything. It's
No,
just,
it doesn't.
They were the
It
first.
what
actually
he-
does.
he called it.
It
He
actually
called
does.
it. Hold up. You called it the Mecca, and like
The reason why we're the Mecca is that you can't get anywhere between in Southern Ontario
Oh, yeah.
without going through Hamilton.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Right?
You have to go through Hamilton.
At some
If you're
point.
coming from the States, you have to come
That's
through Hamilton.
true.
Toronto.
You want to get to
Necessarily
Toronto?
true. I mean, if you
Yeah,
come
well,
to New
no.
York City, you go through Montreal, man.
You go through Montreal, you got to come all the way around and go through Toronto.
Or you
and
can
gotta
come through
Hamilton.
Niagara. It's closer.
And you
gotta go through Hamilton.
8
Depending
hours.
where you are. Depending where you are.
Hey,
Yeah.
New York, yeah.
through Niagara to Toronto, what do you have to do? You got to go through Hamilton.
Yeah.
You want to go to Buffalo? Got to go through Hamilton. You want to go to Detroit? Got to go through Hamilton.
It is
There's
sad on a different
no
level
way.
too, because like going into talking about what you're talking about, how like Toronto and then Hamilton, for example. I remember, I say in about anywhere from 10 to 15 years, this will definitely change the dynamic of how we talk about it. But I remember when I went to, you guys ever go to like a field trip to a different province when you guys were in high school, elementary school, or anything like that? I went to Quebec City, right? And me and my one friend Yannick, if you guys know Yannick
Yeah, I
Nikindu,
know, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Me and him, we were the only true French speaking people out of our group.
Mm.
Right, went there, right? I remember we ended up like talking up to a couple of these girls and everything like that. And the only thing we could say to them at first, like, well, obviously we're talking to them in French and engaging them and stuff like that. But like, we couldn't say Hamilton at this time.
You can't when you're in
You couldn't
Toronto.
say Hamilton.
When you're in
He's
Toronto,
You know what I mean? Like,
can't,
you can't.
When you're in Toronto, you can't say you're from Hamilton.
Yeah,
The minute
can't.
you say you're from Hamilton, done.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
You're
so true.
you know what's funny? Like, I think that's anywhere in
else.
Canada.
You can go to St. Catharines,
Yeah.
you go to Brantford, you go, I'm from Hamilton.
Yeah.
Cool.
No problem.
Toronto,
The minute you say you're Hamilton, that's our problem,
it's over.
right?
Oh,
But
that's
even
fair enough.
even these Quebec girls, they're like, "Oh yeah, where are you guys from?" We're like, "We can't say Hamilton because we say Hamilton." First off, Hamilton is actually a very well-known name in so many different states,
Yeah,
so many
Canada.
different places.
Yep.
There's not many Torontos,
Mhm.
cities-wise. If you were to like type in Hamilton, Virginia, or Hamilton, Michigan, you probably find
No.
a small
There-
part.
No,
Right.
there's honestly, I was in Chicago.
Yep.
And I was looking for my bags, and I'm like, I'm going to Hamilton, Ontario. And they're like, oh, Hamilton this, Hamilton that. And I was
Yeah.
like, because look at it.
Yeah.
That one thing, that Broadway show.
Yeah,
Hamilton
and that's another thing. Hamilton,
And they
the
got
show,
confused
Yes, and that's
with
fair.
Hamilton, Ontario.
and that's fair, right?
And the thing about it is, and people don't understand, majority of the movies you've seen for the last fucking 60 years.
It's the hub.
Have been from Hamilton.
Bunch
True.
of movies.
What I'm
can
trying to
sit
say
here-
is that-
I can sit here and I can name huge name
Yeah.
movies
Oh, for sure.
that
Hulk.
have been done here.
The Hulk, I was in it.
Yo, actually, I think we were together on that one.
It's, by the bank, by the old TD right there.
Yeah.
That's where they shot it.
I think we were together on that
We
one because I
shot
remember
it.
I was like, yeah, man, that was back in the day for real. But like, what I'm trying to say is that you can't
Exit
sit there and
wounds,
say to
kill
people
On
that
the
you're
street
from
when they made that
Hamilton.
too.
You have to say you're from Toronto when you leave the state.
Nope.
When you leave this province.
Nope.
Yeah, man, it's
I'm
true.
from- I'm from-
I used
It
to
makes
be.
sense.
I used to be that guy.
Yeah.
But
But you
But
did.
I
But no,
don't
you realize you still did. You still did it.
I did it.
No,
Yeah,
I did
You
it.
still did it.
But
Even though you don't do it now.
because for me, like I grew up in
Yep.
Brooklyn.
And that's
So
fun.
for me to grow up in Brooklyn and be like, okay, cool, and watch people be like, oh, I'm from New York, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, I'm proud I'm proud to be from Hamilton.
Yeah.
I went to BC and I'm like, I'm from Hamilton. I'm from Ontario.
Yeah.
If you don't like it,
Too bad.
fuck it.
Yeah,
Because
but
that's
like,
where the
but
fuck
yo,
I'm
but
from.
change the scenario.
Hold
You're
up.
picking up this fly honey in the club right
Haven't
now.
I'm from Hamilton, bro.
You know, man, you gonna say Toronto in that
Hamilton.
scenario?
I would
bro.
die. I would die.
No, he's not.
Yo,
No,
man,
he's not.
she's gonna
Yes,
recognize
he is.
Toronto versus
Yes,
Hamilton
yes, he is.
easier.
I'm from Hamilton. I ain't
Yeah,
like
it's like you
Sometimes
said.
That's happened to me when I'm going meeting girls out, let's
Yes.
say in Toronto or Mississauga, and I'm like, hey, I'm from Hamilton. They change.
Immediately.
They change
Yeah.
quickly. It has
Yes.
happened.
Yeah.
Like, if you
Yeah,
say you're from
but
here's what I'm
Toronto,
gonna
you
say.
gain
I'm
that
from
percent.
Canada.
If you said you were from Brooklyn to half these honeys,
Oh yeah.
they'd be like, "Whoa, what's that?
Hold
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Hold up.
Drop that fly right now. Let me get on that."
All of
Right?
y'all from Hamilton.
They said
All-
I'm not wrong.
You're from
It's-
Hamilton?
the
I'm
name's
from Hamilton. Hold up.
prestige.
You're from Hamilton? You're from Hamilton?
I actually say I'm from Montreal.
I never from never ever.
You-
ever,
I don't care.
We're-
Montreal's
Yeah,
where I
obviously,
grew
you know,
up.
I'm from here, but I
Texas.
moved out there now. Oh, you mean background? Okay,
Yeah.
Houston. Okay, there you
Yes, Texas, right? So, I don't give a fuck. Montreal's better and England. So, you can say what you want to say,
Yeah,
but
nobody's
like,
saying I don't give a fuck.
Montreal's better
I ain't mad at you.
anyways,
That's your
bro.
opinion.
Yeah.
Us Chinese
No,
people
listen,
gonna
I-
we gonna say
I mean,
we're gonna say it together.
but
We're gonna say it
I've
together.
been there.
Fuck you,
You haven't been
motherfucker.
there.
Us Chinese
You
people gonna say it
haven't
together.
been there.
Yeah, I'm better.
So,
Because
like,
Yo,
as
yo,
Guyanese
Chewy,
people,
Chewy, bro,
as
wait,
Guyanese
if you
people,
go, we gotta take you down to Montreal one
No,
time.
no, I've
First
been,
off,
no, I've been to Montreal.
but like, I mean, like,
No.
we gotta have a good
You
time
have
one
to
time.
be on
one
a
time,
level,
like, you gotta
bro.
come out there
You
one
have to
time.
be on a
I've been to Montreal.
But, like,
and
party
I
out
have
there.
a love and hate with Montreal. I have a love and hate.
Oh.
I can take it to an old story, but I'll leave that for another show. But I'm like I'm saying,
I mean, I've had a
again,
good
let
time.
me put it back.
A good time anyway.
So, Knights of the Black Table.
A good time. It's always a good time when I'm in the building.
It's a plug, bro. It's a
This-
plug.
This is the thing about our show. Our show really just gets down to the nitty gritty of us being able to speak freely and just being able to. You guys want to hear what we talk about.
See, no, hold up. Like, you're calling it all of that, but like, on the real, it's just some like
We just ranted.
regular ass nigga shit. Like, it's just some
Why the
random.
fuck you got to take that? I was taking it there, anyway.
But that's what it is.
But I was taking.
But
it
it's
there.
not.
Yeah, you still has thunder, man. Seriously.
I was taking it there.
We just speak nicer sometimes.
No, we don't. No,
Well, for the camera, we do.
No, we talk about
It's
some
PG.
real intelligent shit.
Yeah,
I'm
We
not
talk
saying that
about
we don't, but we
I'm
talk
talking
about it
about
on a
vulgar.
very street level.
we could
Go
go
with a
talk about
collective
it on a
vibe,
very
bringing it
street.
down to the
Yeah,
streets.
you
You
know
know what I mean?
level.
This is like the new hits from the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the thing
It's
about
on
it
a
is,
street level. Like, we're not. Look, I can use certain words or whatever, and like, you know, the random motherfucker would be like, "Oh, what the fuck does that mean?" But like, for the most part, we're sitting here having a conversation. If you pick up on something that I say and you say something, you're gonna say some shit, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, that's what that nigga talking about. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about."
Well, we PG. The cameras around, so we gotta be PG somewhat. You know what I
We
mean?
be PG. I don't have to.
no,
do
this shit goes up
anything.
on
I'm
YouTube.
being
I can
PG.
do
As long as
whatever I
YouTube
want.
then goes,
We don't want
Yeah,
you to
you
get
can put an
flagged.
M rating on it. You're
Yeah,
good.
Because
I can do
You gotta
whatever
put
I want.
explicit.
Because I can
Down
go
explicit.
there.
I
I
had the
wasn't
same
trying to
thing
go
I
like
do
there.
whatever I
I
want.
was being PG.
Huh?
You know what I mean?
What?
I totally forgot he was here.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, you
I
Spike Dre
got
on his
one
side,
with
yeah.
beef and one with chicken.
cool.
Cool. But yeah, honestly, when it comes down to it, when you're trying to pick up a honey, I understand you did it at once though. You just say you admitted that you
I'm
did it
an
before.
old cat.
But
I'm
you
an
did
old
it. You did
cat.
it before.
Listen,
We're giving
I'm
you,
an
and that's why I
old
said,
cat.
guys, remember at the
So
beginning of my
then-
conversation though, I said that in about 5 to 6 years, that will change.
No.
Yes, it will, because
I
I
never
know
done
for a
that.
fact.
I was here
Yep.
when Hess began.
Dude,
I
already
get
When
it.
Hess
man.
But I
began,
get it.
Already changed.
Let me
no,
tell you
what
something.
I'm trying to say is that I will change my dynamic in regards to where I say I'm
How old
from
are you?
if I'm out
What
of.
did
I'm
they say in
32.
Marvel? You're talking
You're
about
32.
No, but you're talking about Hess. But like,
No.
what did they say in Marvel? Everything dies.
Everything at one point in
Yes,
time.
been dead.
But what I'm
Everything
trying to
dies.
say
At
is
one
more
point
so
or
this.
another,
Has been
this is
dead.
the thing.
Everything dies.
We're getting to
I've
the
been
point.
here. I've been here. I'm 39 years. Well, yesterday I turned 39 years
Oh,
old.
happy belated.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I belated.
Appreciate y'all.
Hey.
Appreciate that, motherfucker. Cheers, man.
Birthday,
Appreciate
cheers.
it.
Ah,
Happy
shit.
birthday. Happy birthday, brother.
Appreciate y'all,
Yeah, man. Good times. Good times.
Salute.
You know? Happy
Salud.
birthday, man.
Salud.
Appreciate y'all.
I know that.
All right.
And in that,
Yo, and plug
To
the
see
lamps
the
because we be
changes-
drinking lamb spice rum. That's what we be drinking. That's usually what I be drinking.
what else are we
There's no
drinking? Because
tequila.
we're done now.
drink.
What?
We're done now. What else are we drinking?
Do you want to bring out high wine?
Oh God! Oh, is that what we're
Man,
doing?
Caribbean Island
What is
spice
that?
rum.
Is that what we're-
Guaranteed to
is that
get
what we're
you.
doing now?
Oh.
I
Yo,
would been
you-
on the table. This shit.
I'm just
I don't
saying, you
even
guys-
know if I want to do that, bro.
Oh,
Take
fuck
babysit.
that.
I
I'm
don't
not
even
touching
want to
that
know if
shit.
I want to
No,
do
no,
that.
no.
I'm already good. I'm already good.
No,
I do
actually,
realize.
you know what? You guys
Nah,
can't touch
bro,
that shit. I do
it's
that shit
That's
for
a
later.
babysit.
Don't touch that. No,
Oh,
I do that
no,
shit
no,
for
no,
later.
you
I do
know,
that shit for later.
you know what time
Don't
it
do
is.
that shit.
You know what time it is.
Two
You
shots.
know what time it is.
I know.
You
I
know
got.
what time
I might
it
have
is.
some trim coming over, so I'm gonna need that later. So don't
Trim ain't coming over, dog. It's
I
already
seen
one
someone
time.
that tried to take 3
Oh,
or
no,
4
I
of
don't
that.
drink that.
And
Like in like
That's
within like a
whatever, I
half
don't
hour,
know.
hour period.
God, this is
I
like
still
a.
don't
You can drink that. Drink
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Drink up that
That
whiskey. Don't
shit
touch my
is
tequila.
nuts,
No, I don't
man,
drink
seriously. I had
What
two.
percentage is that?
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
45.
So what do you think?
Maybe a little more, but
I think I'm gonna
I
stop
had two of
filming now.
those.
We
and
should end.
I was
We're gonna
done
close
for the
now.
night.
Jose,
I lock
you gotta
up.
shut up
What?
because I'm gonna close my show right now, so I can.
Oh, true that.
He's closing his show.
All right. So,
She's
yeah,
Yeah.
this was like
We were drinking this shit last night.
it's been a
man.
while,
It's rough. It's rough. in
and
the
I
beginning,
apologize
shit,
for that. But at the same time,
Shit is-
I don't really give a
it's
fuck.
like Crown
I'm
Rock.
busy. I'm a
It's
man.
like
I got a lot of
Crown.
things going on. I'm in college. I'm trying to make
it's
something
kinda
of myself. So yeah, this is Knights of the Black Table for today.
It's been a while, but we back and we're gonna do it again.
And we
Right.
back.
We're
And I will be
you know
back
what?
next week.
There was a lot of people here today. You didn't get to see everybody because like people like to talk shit off the camera and it really fucks with my editing. It's whatever. We'll figure that shit out in post. Plug yourself, Jose. If you want to tell anybody anything, if you want them to know like your business or whatever the case may be.
It's also the shit. That's all
That's
I can say.
Facts.
so you like don't want anybody to like know your Instagram or anything like that? No?
No, I'm good right now, man.
Yeah.
Well, holla at me. You
Yeah.
already know.
Fuck
Chisel
you.
1. You already know. We in the building.
Right?
Neighborhood. Always a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Spanish is better.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. I don't even know why you're talking about. Go ahead, AJ.
That singer from Steeltown. That's who I am on Instagram. If you guys want to check out some of the stuff I do, I also impersonate Bruno Mars, as well as I'm currently working on a Backstreet Boys tribute project right now. So definitely.
Oh, did you see they're looking for singers and dancers for Backstreet Boys in Toronto?
Damn.
No, I did not. So
Gotta check that
I'll
out,
send
man.
that.
I'll have to check that out.
All
Yes.
right, so Big 1037, as always, I'm out here.
Shit.
Check the joke page. It is what it is. And are we signing off? We're signing off.
Peace.
We're signing out.
Peace.
Yo, you gotta hit the button. Go hit the button.
The Knights in the building.
All right,
Good night.
easy, yo. We're done with this.
We out.
What am I hitting?